Execute Order 66. I should have rehearsed that. Hey, I should have practiced that. I should have, I low-key actually didn't even know what I was about to say. I was about to do my usual, but then I remembered what the frick we're here for, y'all. Holy flip. Holy shnikes. Execute Order 66 indeed, y'all. Welcome. Holy frick. Holy shnikes, y'all. What the frick is up, everybody? Happy holy 66,000 of you guys. You want to know what's freaking hysterical? I have been tracking. I have been like, I knew we were inching towards it, so throughout the week I've been like, all right, keep your head up, keep your guard up, to be ready to clock it and get that screenshot as soon as we hit the magic number, which is difficult to do, by the way, but as we saw, I captured it at 66,001. But you want to know, as soon as I posted that, somebody unsubscribed and it was 66 on the dot. But you can come back to the fold. It's okay. If you took one for the team and unsubscribed so we could get it on the even number, welcome back. You can come on back. Thank you guys so much for joining. This was super spontaneous, but I thought, you know what? Let's just freaking seize the day, seize the moment, and celebrate, because holy shnikes, can I be for real? This is the number that I have been secretly waiting to hit. I'll get into it, but let's do a quick roll call. Thank you all so much for being here. Happy Sunday, happy 66K. Could not have done it without everybody here. And we've got the OGs, of course, so I know that we had Charlie up in the early gang. Thank you, Charlie, for tuning in early as soon as the stream launched. Oh, and he's still here. Still here, let's go. At Chipotle now, catch it later. But before I go, congratulations, Kat. Also, get on Blade. Death is only the beginning. Welcome to that club now, and stay awesome. Much love. Check your messages. Thank you, Charlie. Oh my gosh, yes, I do have to, because I think you sent me something. I gotta check it, but thank you so much, Charlie, for not only all of your support, for getting me into the mummy fold. I still have to get on the Blade train, but thank you so much for all of your amazing recommendations, as always. I very much appreciate it, and for your membership of 50 months. Holy shnikes. My brain can't even compute that. Let's do another roll call again. I'm glad you were still here, Charlie. I was about to say, I'll see you in the rewatch. But same goes for anyone, whether you're joining live or catching us in the rewatch. Welcome, welcome. We've got Bird Church up in here. Sean, let's get it. Ace Moonshot, Nick Gandhi, Bew Bew Gaming. Please let me know if I'm saying that wrong. Like, please, you can be like, feel free to be like, girl, get it right. Because I just read it as like, pew pew, like a sound effect in a video game. But please feel free to correct me. That's just my headcanon for what it is, but feel free. Please call me out. Hayden's here. Let's get it. Let's get it. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Welcome. Good to see you. Happy Sunday to yourself. Stanley's. Meg Bots is lurking. Daddy Josh. Let's go. Let's go, team. Darnock, what's up? I guess it's time to sack Coruscant. Yes, y'all. The time has come. Patrick Kelly, let's go. And Colin. Woohoo. I was hoping we'd be able to catch you, because I believe it's still early over for our friends in the UK. So thank you for joining in. Good to see all you guys. Real Varmint, what's up? Welcome. Thank you all so much for showing up and showing out on such short notice, because I did literally schedule this like moments ago, an hour ago, which I know I usually say I'm not gonna do, but I had been planning to do some sort of celebratory stream for when we hit this mark. I just didn't think it was going to happen. I really didn't think it was going to happen this quickly. Like I said, I had been tracking it throughout the week, and so I woke up this morning and checked the YouTube app and saw that, so that was a welcome surprise. And so, sorry, what was I gonna say? Blacked out. I'm too excited, too hyped. This is too on the nose. Oh, where are we going with this? I figured now or never. Now would be the best time to do it. Because we have a very busy upcoming weekend coming up, and I didn't want to let it simmer throughout the week. I was like, let's celebrate now while it's fresh. And while we're as close to 66 on the dot as we might ever get. So yes, I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to delay. So apologies for the short notice and the last minute nature. I know that's not very conducive. What's up, AD? 100K next. That's the goal. Ty Saban, thank you. Welcome. And Colin, thank you so much. I just got the YouTube recap, and guess who's second on my top list after Star Wars' main channel? Oh my gosh! Thank you, Colin. I'm so honored, and that's new this year, right? They're kind of piggybacking off of, I believe, Spotify Wrapped and all of those other kind of trends recapping the year. But that is so freaking cool, y'all, to see our channel on some of your guys' lists. That really puts it into perspective. So thank you so much, and I'm so grateful to hear that, Colin. And that is so freaking hype that you met Bryce Dallas Howard today. It is a good day for everybody here, y'all. That's freaking amazing. Could you describe? She seems like such an amazing person, both on screen, off screen, behind the camera. So let us know, how was it? How was her energy? She seems so amazing, and I can only hope that we get more of her behind the camera in the Star Wars realm. So that's so exciting. What function were you at where you met her? At German Comic Con? That is so freaking hype. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Sean, member for 25 months. Hello from snowy Illinois. We were in the same boat as you, Sean, earlier this week. 66k subs and 25 months member. Heck yes, congrats, Kat. So deserving, and much love to you and Tom too. I'd be okay getting over. That's right. I hope you're doing better. And sadly, my uncle passed away last night. Oh my God, Sean! I can't believe you're here right now. Oh my God, oh my God, I'm so terribly sorry to hear that. I hope you're doing okay. I feel that. I guess I will share. I lost an uncle this year, earlier as well. And it is especially tough. It's wild because it happened early, within the first few months of this year, but it's kind of resurging. Something about the holidays is very difficult. Reflecting on, like, it's your first Christmas or first Thanksgiving for us Americans without a few of my family members that we've lost this year, and it kind of brings it up. So I'm so sorry that it has happened here so close to, it can already be a very difficult season, and so I'm sure that adds another layer to it. So I'm so sorry to hear that, Sean. I can't believe you're here right now, and we're here for you and we support you. Oh my gosh. I hope you're doing all right, and that your family is too. And I'm so sorry that's just, thank you for feeling comfortable to share that with us. I'm getting a little bit emo. I'm sorry, because it's coming to a close, y'all. This has been a whirlwind of a year, so I'm sorry that your family's going through it right now, Sean. Zesty, what's up? Thank you so much for being here. And Sean as well said, oh my gosh, we were the second most watched channel. That's crazy, y'all, literally. That is so wild. It just really puts it into perspective. And so I can't thank you guys enough. To those of y'all who've been, the dedication, it truly, I do not take it for granted. And it really kind of puts it into perspective. I keep saying that, but there's something about the one-sided nature of, I know that I'm not just talking into the ether, and this is definitely like a two-way street for sure, but sometimes it can feel like you're just alone in this void, in solitary confinement whilst filming or editing. And so to actually see the what is the word I'm looking for, the outcome, the way the channel is being received, and that we're clocking on your guys' like most watched channels, that is just so wild to me. So thank you. AD, it's freaking cold. Oh my God, I've had a couple of breakdowns already. It's been bad, and we had snow, and what great timing, because allegedly the DC area has not seen over an inch of snow in the past 8 years. Or rather, I don't know if I got that right. I might be spreading misinformation. It might be that they haven't seen this amount of snow at this early in the season in that amount of time, but some sort of statistics I saw came up on my timeline that it has been a hot minute since DC has seen this much snowfall, and of course it happened as soon as we moved here. So I've been struggling, y'all, but it's I can feel myself reacclimating, because this is how I grew up. And so I have to just toughen up. I gotta get with the program. I will say, it does feel very fitting finally living in a place where, not finally living in a place, but after 5 years of living in LA, where this time of year, I would see people wearing parkas and whatnot, and I'd be like, come on, y'all. Like, as an East Coast transplant, That was always just so hilarious to me to see people wearing these bulky coats and it's only it's 60 degrees outside. I was like, guys, come on, we gotta toughen up. So it feels fitting to finally actually be back in a climate, seeing people wearing parkas, but then also seeing people only wearing sweatshirts. I'm like, how are y'all doing? There's a whole spectrum of people's tolerances. It's been crazy. It's been cold. It's been crazy. Trying to be the best that I can be. That's all you can do, Sean. Ty asks, how's school going? Y'all are gonna see. I'm gonna do a paint/draw with me stream this week because I have my project, this module is so exciting. I'm so freaking excited and I want to document some of it. So I know I've been chirping about it and then I just haven't gotten to it, but now I have to actually really start getting my head in the game. Because I would like to try to get as much work done before the holidays as I can. My project isn't due until mid-January, but I want to make sure I'm just like prepared up front because I think I learned a little bit of a lesson the last time that I kind of self-sabotaged and saved a lot of the brunt of my work till the very end. And so I was up until like 3 a.m., you know, the week before my project was due. Like, I don't want to relive that. So stay tuned because I'm definitely going to be sharing. It's going to be fun. I'm so excited about it. So prepare for me to geek out. All right, I'm going to do a quick lightning round because I'm getting distracted. I'm going on tangents. Where are we? Holy shnikes, where are we? Okay, okay, Colin says I waited 3 hours for an autograph, but that's because she took so much time with everybody. So she has it's the same as Hayden. I only ever hear that, you know, the lines are always massive for him and they take a while, the cube, but it's because he spends so much time with people. That's so amazing. Not surprised. Bryce Dallas Howard seems like she's in the same boat of just a generous and warm and kind person. So that's awesome. And she never took a break. That's crazy. So respect. And she was so nice. I'm so happy to hear that. J-Lock 1993, I miss y'all. I miss you guys. I miss being one of you all. Thanks for tuning in. The real varmint, that's a sweet sentiment. Don't let personal tragedy dim the spirit of the holidays. Let the holidays warm you. That's a really good way to look at it. And I needed to hear that too. And same for Sean. Thank you, everybody showering Sean with love. I love to see it. My boy Colin, still so funny how I randomly met you in the UK. I'm hoping I can have the same honor as AD. That's right, I forgot that you guys got to meet. Matthew, thank you for being here. Kat is snowed in, she's trapped. I truly was. Listen, it was the perfect amount of snowfall that I could have asked for because I honestly was being a hater and I didn't think it was going to stick. And then it did, but it was the perfect amount because it was just a good little dusting, enough to coat the ground, coat the trees, coat your cars and whatnot, but not enough to wreak havoc on the roads. You didn't have to get out there and shovel out your front door like that. It was all I could have asked for. But then it melted the very next day. So, but it was nice for the ambiance, the vibes, because this time of year in LA was admittedly always very weird for me because it was just like sunshine and palm trees and I never felt the Christmassy energy. I would try. I would try, but to give you an idea, we would frequent one of our favorite places in LA is the Grove, which sounds really kind of vain to say because it's just a giant outdoor shopping mall with all of these high-end stores, but it has a farmer's market, lots of fun restaurants. Our local movie theater was over there, so I would go there quite a lot, and especially around the holiday time because they would always have a big tree. And on Friday evenings, this is an outdoor mall. To put it into perspective, everybody would gather on Friday evenings because at like 7 p.m. on the dot, they would pump out fake snow, which I think was just like bubbles. It literally was just some sort of like bubble concoction, but it looked like snowflakes. It didn't look like they were blowing bubbles, but when it would land on you, it just looked like foam. It was foam. That's the word I'm looking for. And people would go crazy. Children would be dancing around, like catching it, like, you know, playing. This would go on for maybe like 10 or so minutes, and they would play White Christmas. And I was like, this is as close as we're all gonna get to snow here in LA. And the first year that happened, we didn't know about it, and we were just walking around the Grove on a Friday evening, and then suddenly all the simulated snow comes falling out of the sky, and we looked at each other and we couldn't help but laugh in like a pitiful way, like, this is it, this is it. But then we came to love it. Like, our last Christmas there, we were going for the snow. Like, it was because we wanted to see it. So it puts it into perspective. So I appreciate seeing real snow after that being the kind of only. But it would be cool because if it got cold enough, LA is surrounded by mountains that would eventually get snow capped during the winter time. So even if there wasn't snow outwardly out, right in your immediate area, you could look out at the mountains and they were covered in snow. And so that was kind of nice vibes. But so I was hoping for snow a little bit. I just don't want to have to deal with it. I just don't want to be subjected to the elements. I like it if I can see it through my window. That's it. If it inhibits my daily life, then we're gonna have a problem. Yes, Ty, exactly. Snow is awesome for like Christmas, but come January, I def don't need it. But that's when it always happens, of course, right? And at least where I, grew up, like, we really stopped having white Christmases. But then it would always happen after the fact. AD, stop torturing me. It's 60 here and I'm frozen. I got my coat on. Listen, I was in the same boat. My blood went thin. That's why I'm trying to reacclimate. Ooh, what's up, Ronan? Oh my gosh, sorry, you probably bailed already because I'm taking forever to read the chat. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Star Wars Insight, oh my gosh, welcome. Hey, I'm new to the channel and congrats on 66k subs. Thank you so much for being here and welcome. We're happy to have you. And welcome. Hopefully, I wonder if this is your first stream, but thank you for tuning in. An exciting one to catch. Thanks for being here. Fender Bender, just a random comment passing by. We're happy to have you too. Thank you for being here. We're lucky to have 2 days of snow in a year, says Epic Dude. That's better than nothing. What's up, Jay? Danny, what's up? Have I started watching any Christmas movies, asks Ty. I watched Die Hard last night. And it's funny because I hadn't watched that full movie. That was the first time I watched it all the way through. And I've only ever heard in the cultural lexicon people debating whether that's valid as a Christmas movie. It totally is. It 1000% is, in my book. Oh my gosh, everybody's getting elements. We've got a fog in Georgia, says Patrick. It's snowing in Buffalo for Jay. Not surprised. It got foggy here the other day too, says Ty. It's creepy when it's foggy. It's a Silent Hill, like, LA gets the fog as well. That would be the kind of only, like, really, that was the most drastic of weather in LA, the kind of gloomy fog. What's up, dude? 247316. Thanks for being here. Not the fake snow, says Bew. What's up, Nathan? Australian Christmas would baffle me. Right, because they have it's summertime for them. They have reverse, they're on the other side of the world. Okay, I'm gonna quickly try to catch up. I'm behind. I'm always behind. What's up, Viazzy? Sorry. I probably botched that. Howdy from Arizona and congrats. Thanks for being here. I'm sure it's warm. Actually, no, Arizona, the desert does get cold. You guys have pretty extreme weather fluctuations, actually, but it's probably still, I don't know, what is it, like 40s for you guys? Agreed, Daddy Josh. Snow is pretty to look at, but not to tread through. Exactly. Right, Bird Church, there is something quite magical about Christmas dinner with the family and a snowy landscape outside. There is. It can't be beat. AD says, I'll be honest with you, I would rather be frozen than hot. Cuddle weather. Amanda would get sick of me, though. You know what? That's one of the great debates. Like, people who are, like, completely anti-summer because they would rather be cold. I'm the opposite. I would rather be hot. But there is a valid argument there because the cold, you can layer up, and there's ways that you can battle it to the best of your ability with layers. But Tom always says this: when it's hot, you can't take your skin off. You can't. You can't battle the elements as well. Like, there's only so much that you can do, but there's more. We have more in our arsenal to be equipped for colder weather than hot, I think, is the argument. So that's fair. That's valid. I think we all need to rewatch Rosemary's Baby for the season. I gotta purge the negative energy up in here, Danny, but that one has been on my list. Oh man, never ending gray skies in northwestern Indiana. Rats. Sorry to hear that, Nathan. I will say the constant sunny blue skies in LA, especially this time of year, when I was like wanting the seasonal depression. Not that I was trying to summon it, but it's hard to feel like winter, cold, dreary when it's a sunny blue sky. But sometimes you want to feel that. You want to feel a little bit of a seasonal vibe. And so I thought moving here that I would appreciate it. But when it's gray here, I definitely have been like, come on, bring me the sun. Like, what? Get it together. So I do miss, I guess that's all I'm saying. Obviously, moral of this, I miss LA. I miss it a lot. But I'm appreciating the elements here that we don't actually have in LA. So being able to wear a jacket, it is AD. Being able to wear my heavy coats and be justified in doing it this time versus in LA where I just became a typical Angelino and wearing my parkas and whatnot for no good reason at all. Exactly, Stanley's. It is easier to warm up than to cool down. There's only so much we can do to fight the heat. So yes. What about Bob? What is up? Oh, rats, Nathan, you're in the central time portion of Indiana, so the sun is setting at 4:30. Yeah, this is the worst time of the year. This is the worst time of year in that regard. Across 3221, thank you so much. That's so generous of you. Congratulations, young apprentice. Your powers are growing stronger, one step closer to galactic dominance. Exactly. Thank you so much. Thank you for celebrating with us and for your generosity. Much appreciated. To be real, y'all. Okay, so yes, as I was saying in the beginning of this, this is the number, like even more so than, like 50K I knew was going to be a big step. A big goal. And then after we hit that, more so than hitting 100K, I've had my sights set on this. This, ever since we started the channel, has always been, thanks for being here, AD. I miss you guys so freaking much. We'll have to catch up soon. Catch up virtually. Maybe I'll have you on a stream. Come back and stream with me, AD, so we can hang out and actually socialize and see each other on a weekly basis. The people want it too. No pressure. Not to put you on the spot, but I just miss you. Thanks for being here. And so even more so than hitting 100K, which is still far ahead. That is still far off. My sights aren't even set on that right now because, y'all, I'm just happy about this number. Truly, ever since we started the channel, this has been the number that I was like, I'm shocked and surprised by any amount of subscribers, but if we were to ever hit 66K, that would be so satisfying, just so fitting, and I truly could, if we capped out here, and I know I say this all the time, but this is what, I mean it, because this has low-key been just like, you know, the one number that I had my sights set on for the purposes of, like I said, just the aesthetics of 66K and whatnot, you know, the humor of it all, the inside joke. This was truly the number that I was like, if we hit that, I will be satisfied. If we never had gained another subscriber after this, like, I would be okay. Like, this has just been my ultimate goal. But yes, Ty, 100K is when you get the YouTube plaque. So I guess if I want to be official, I'll keep striving. But this has just been, this was the one that was on my radar for the longest, that I have just been looking forward to the most. For no reasons other than just execute Order 66 so that we could say that. So, oh god, 6'7", Ty. Can I tell you, nothing makes me feel like more of an elder, more of an ancient one than that. It is pretty harrowing realizing that you're actively phasing out of the know with the youth, and that I have to consult Urban Dictionary on a frequent basis, and even Urban Dictionary can't give me the answers. It doesn't even know what these children have conjured up. And I've learned that, like, kids as young as 4 are saying this shiz. Hey, what? Hey, what are you talking about? I thought this was just kind of like a younger Gen Z. I'm an elder Gen Z. I'm on the the outgoing spectrum. I barely made the cut. So I thought this was just, you know, folks in the same club as me, Gen Z. We are one. I thought it was the younger folks in this camp. No, like them and teenagers. What is the cutoff for Gen Z? There's current active teenagers, correct? But no, that can't be. I cannot be in the same generation as that's that. No. All of this is to say, I thought it was just a teenage kind of thing. Because all groups of teenagers, every generation has a little bit of something. But then I learned over the holidays, seeing family members with young kids and whatnot, saying like, no, they're at pre-K, they're at daycare saying this shit. What are you talking about? Huh? That rocked my world. That made me feel existential as frick. Children, as young as 4, are out here saying 6, 7. What does it mean? It makes me feel broken. How does a 4-year-old know? I can't. Sorry, little detour. What about Bob? Thank you so very much for your generosity. I appreciate it. Have you played the new PC game, Don't Scream Together? I have not, nor do I have a PC that I would be able to game on, y'all. I'm working on it. I'm saving up to try to hopefully get some sort of... I need to upgrade my situation. Because I would like to have a separate computer, like a PC that I could actively game on. Because I freaking love playing The Sims, y'all, but I had to offload it. Once I started getting into the YouTube realm, because editing and videos take up so many gigabytes, like The Sims, I had to just clean it off my computer just to make storage room, and it has broken me ever since. And every year I have the hankering to re-download it. So ideally, the goal that I'm working towards is to have get some sort of PC so that I can do some computer games, because that's what I grew up on. That's my origins. Nathan is like screaming into the ether, no, this plagues me. We're all in the same boat. We are all, it's gonna phase out though, y'all. Everything does. How do you do, fellow kids? Exactly. Oh god, brain rot. I am Gen Z, Jared. To the best, in spite of my best efforts, in spite of my trying not to be, I'm on the cusp. I'm on the edge that doesn't associate. I'm in the kind of wiggle room of it. It's 1997 to 2012. That is not. Now here's why. I would argue that amount of that timeline specifically, thank you Patrick for sharing it, for fact checking me, that timeline specifically has historically undergone the amount of change in just our way of living, in just life, between the mid to late 90s and the early 2010. No, I can't. I am a Zennial, so I feel this whole sentiment. Is that Gen X, Ty? I feel like Gen Xers are that's a pretty cool. I'd rather be that than a Gen Z. Exactly, Bew. Like, we're not that far removed from, like, our younger folks, but they are in a different league than us. It's just crazy. 6, 7. Oh gosh, I don't even know what the origin is, Ty. What is up, Emeries? Good to see you. TikTok really runs the world, I swear. Oh, indeed. Get yourself a NASA computer, aka paddle station, or just a computer. I need to assemble one, Daddy Josh. I've gotta get in on that. Look who's joined us. Barb's up in here, everybody. It's been a hot minute since she's appeared at a stream. And yes, my lower back hurts. You and me both, Ty. You and me both. I'm old enough to remember when DVD players were the cool thing, right? Like there was just, there's not much that I have in common in terms of my upbringing with kids born in 2012. Are you kidding me? No, I refuse. I refuse that. How did we get on? Somebody said 6, 7. Somebody and I went on a tangent about how, but that's what blew my mind, because I learned that children as young as like 4 years old, they can't speak. Hey, they can barely talk. Hey, they're barely able to communicate, and they're out here saying 6'7". What the frick are you talking about? What are genuinely that's like, is this how people, like, old people felt when Facebook came on? Like, I just, I'm feeling it. I feel it. I just, uh, it's tough. It's tough. But yeah, that there is a whole other world out there. There is a world where, excuse me, I'm so frustrated. I've knocked over the mic. That's when you know when I'm accidentally rattling the mic. There is a world where children as young as 4 years old are uttering some of these kids' words are probably first words are going to be 6'7". God, the bleak times we live in, and they're not getting better. Gen Z knows what DVDs, VHS, and cable TV are. Yeah, some of us just barely. And now this generation, children born in this generation aren't even going to know what movie theaters are, because guess what, everybody? Throwback to that tangent about that I had about cinema and AI, and the industry in Hollywood is under siege and actively perhaps one of the most endangered industries right now. Guess what, everybody? Prepare for Netflix to monopolize everything. All right, I'm fear-mongering, and I'm going to try not to, because it's not legit, and I barely actually even know the details of all of that ins and outs, but we really caught the tail end of the good old days. We didn't know they were the good old days when they were happening. Right, Pew Pew? Like, I'm so glad that I grew up with Blockbuster. Could I be for real? I feel like we're going to enter a shift. There's going to be a time shift. And I know they all went out of business, but I feel like physical media is going to become, like, I think we're reverting back to, this is obviously cyclical. Like, I'm not saying anything profound here, because Netflix bought Warner Bros. Yeah, Sean, but I don't think it actually went through. Right, says Viazi. Like, I don't think it's legit yet. But what I'm seeing, and why I'm trying to prevent from fear-mongering and speaking it into existence, is this is all part of the strategy by just putting it out there and having people talk about it as if it's inevitable, even though it's not official yet. They're introducing it to the masses and getting it to a point where we just eventually will accept it, so that by the time it does happen, there's not this public uproar. But, like, it's not official yet. Like, it's not set in stone. And so, remember, what was it called? Redbox, right? Like, where you could rent movies. I think you'll own nothing and be happy. Exactly, Stanley's. I feel like we're going to revert back to, in so many different facets of what is currently going on in culture right now. For example, you know, physical media. It's people who have physical media collections. That's like cool. Like, they're the coolest people, you know. If you have physical media and you've been collecting Blu-rays and DVDs and VHS tapes, hold on to that shiz, because that's about to be a lost art, and they're just gonna go up in value until the day maybe ever comes where there's no longer any sort of Blu-ray. Can you even go to, like, a Walmart or a Best Buy and purchase a Blu-ray player? I don't even know, because I've not shopped for one, because I don't buy CDs or DVDs anymore. But, like, it's equivalent to, like, when social media first came on the scene. It was like, if you don't have one, you're weird. If you would try to search, I'm not saying I believed this, but this was the kind of cultural association with it. It got to a point where everybody was on social media, to the point that if you weren't, it was like you were an outsider. And if you tried to search somebody on social media and they didn't have it, it was like, whoa, what's up with them that they're not online? You know, like, it wasn't a red flag, but it was just the outlier. Now, if I meet somebody who has no social media, I'm like, good for them. They did something right, and they'd had to just ride the wave of everybody questioning why they're not online, why they don't have Instagram, why they don't have freaking TikTok or whatever, Facebook. Now they're living in the glory days. They're living better than the rest of us, because now they have no information online that can be stolen or any of that stuff, or sold against their will, or leaked or whatnot. And so, like, you know, Now, it's kind of the same deal with physical media. It's like, oh, well, everybody kind of stopped collecting that stuff because it was like, look at streaming. You never have to buy another thing again because you can just buy it online. Well, if the grid goes down and the cloud shatters and all of this goes to shit, this sounds like such doomsday. I don't believe in this stuff, but like, those people who have physical media collections now are going to be laughing at all. They are laughing at all of us because they have rode the wave and they've stayed true to it. Like, and so they'll be laughing in all of our faces, and eventually we'll be seeing like DVDs or VHSs probably being sold on eBay for large amounts of money, because they're gonna just accrue value over time because it's such a lost art. Yeah, save them, everybody, save them. I still have my dad's and some other tapes somewhere. Yes, like, hold on to it. I still have boxes of DVDs and CD albums that I can't get myself to get rid of. Don't ever get rid of them. Bird Church, save them. Raz, sorry about that, Jared. Unskippable ads. I didn't realize they were unskippable. I apologize. Freaking YouTube just has yeah, that was the worst. We're still salty about that. Maybe if we fight back enough and put it into the ether, they'll pick up on the fact that nobody wants ads during freaking live streams. So I'm sorry about that. Exactly, View. Like, I'm happy when I hear that somebody isn't on Twitter. Save yourself. And that's what they're doing. So if this merger happens, whatever it is, if the acquisition goes through and Netflix really does have a monopoly on everything, it can't. It can't. How did I get on this subject? Oh, because we were just talking about how the box office is already in jeopardy, and oh, we were at the end of the glory days. And that's how we got on the subject. Exactly, those fancy DVD menus, huh? Exactly, Darnock. And the kind of lost art that comes with that, because with DVDs, you get all the behind the scenes. You get access to, the blooper reels, the deleted scenes, commentary from the director and the filmmakers and whatnot. None of that is on. You can't go onto Disney Plus and watch. Actually, I do think they have some deleted scenes on there. I have to fact check that, but you can't go watch a blooper reel from whatever your favorite Star Wars film is on Disney Plus. We're losing all of the kind of lost art of the behind the scenes that comes with physical media, because you have the loading screen, the loading menu where you can select, there was so much more than the actual just movie itself on those things. And that's going down the drain too. That's like non-existent as well. I've got a whole collection of DVD and K-pop albums. Who knew having a collection in hobbies would pay off? Exactly. It's like, who knew the physical media collectors are going to be laughing in all the rest of our faces and when we have nothing and everything and we are shackled? Because that's the whole system. I'm sorry, I'm talking about everything existential lately, but it is kind of crazy how we've been bred and molded now to be shackled to these, Netflix kind of being the first streamer where it was like, this is awesome. Look at all of these movies online that I can get with just this subscription. Well, hey, that subscription like quadrupled in price, and now you can't share your password with anybody, and now you can't even have the same family members in the same household on it. And God forbid one of them is watching at the same time as you, then you get booted out, then you get exiled from your account. Then now there's ads. Like, tell me why I'm paying for Amazon Prime and still having ads on movies that are accessible on Amazon Prime. Jesus, it's because we've become dependent on them. They saw how quickly we flocked to them and everybody got in on the game. And I wish I could say that it's nice to see that they're shrinking and condensing and just becoming mergers with one another, Hulu and Disney Plus, every sort of different combination that's happening. I think Paramount went somewhere. I don't even know anymore because there were too many to keep track of, and now they're all just swallowing each other up and becoming these giant freaking expensive. Why did we even subscribe for all of this? How do I bring back real cable? But that's the crux of it all. Like, it was this shiny new thing, and it came at the cost of, Blockbuster. When did Blockbuster? It was right around the time that Netflix was taking off. It was only as recent as 2014. That's grim. That is grim. Now, Netflix was in the running. Netflix was kind of a sleeper because they started as you could rent things and actually still receive them in the mail, correct? 1997, right? Like, that was they were around for a long time, but their popularity surged. The streaming service, that's what it was, launched in 2000. Can I talk? 2007. So there, less than a decade after they took off, was the death of Blockbuster. But now, I bet if a Blockbuster existed, like, we've been robbed of that and now we don't have it. But I bet I can guarantee if Blockbusters came back, or if local small businesses or just even cinema fans who have their own physical media collections opened some sort of rental service, that people would flock to it now. Because that's just, we saw the shiny new thing that was Netflix, and, everybody favored that over going the act of actually having, hey, leave your house and go to Blockbuster. But I think in today's day and age, people are looking for a reason to leave their house. But we're losing them. We're losing Blockbusters and movie theaters because they're gonna go out of business. Like, it's just, we're losing any sort of accessibility we have to community. Oh god. Keep those original trilogy and prequel trilogy DVDs, Matthew. Keep them. I'm guessing that we're talking about saving hard copy DVDs and Blu-rays over streaming. Yes, Jared, yes. I'm trying to catch up via chat. I'm so sorry that the ads cut out right as I was saying something profound. I'm kidding. Whoops, sorry. Exactly, Daddy Josh. Watching movies at home with a DVD was an experience. Exactly. I think they are releasing the original Star Wars. I think it is coming back, Ty. I remember the Kings of Leon's debut album on CD a few minutes after the final song, a hidden secret song, started, and I didn't know for months, and it wouldn't work digitally. That's such a good point, Bird Church. There would just be hidden gems on physical media that we don't have anymore. The best menu screen was Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I'm trying to remember that one. I have a vague memory of it, I think. Greetings from Argentina. What is up, Jose? Thanks for being here. Are you excited about your World Cup group? The World Cup, the draw happened, y'all. It's getting real. I would love to see the OG Star Wars in theaters. Me too, Itai, especially after seeing the prequels this spring. I need to complete them. I gotta complete the saga. How can theaters find a way to get people into the theater? Making tickets cheaper, y'all. That's the problem. It costs an arm and a leg to go to the movie theaters anymore. Where's my tinfoil hat? I swear I don't have one, J-Lock. I'm not some sort... you hear these people talking about, like... I mean, I guess that is one of the biggest imminent threats to us, because everything we live in the digital age, and all facets and aspects, everything about us, our credit cards, our bank accounts, everything is stored on an app. And if the grid goes down, whatever they say, the doomsdayers, it does put into perspective how if everything digitally were to cease to exist or be targeted or hacked or something, like, there goes everything I own. Can I give a shout out to Sal? I don't know if Sal is here right now, but a few of my slim digital media collection is thanks to Sal. And there's the Planet of the Apes movies, and he sent a few other things, and that's all I have. And so shout out to Sal. I have to get working on this. I have to improve. Here I am on a soapbox right now. I use my PlayStation for DVDs, right, John Blake? So as long as they keep manufacturing PlayStations to play Blu-ray or whatnot, we'll still be okay. Good point, Ty. I just went to the library for the first time in a while, and I'm reading Dune as we speak. That is such a good point. Like, I feel like libraries are coming back in style because people miss having a place to just go and have community and hold something physical in their hand and not be charged for it. Because I think it was Amazon that got started. The whole purpose of Amazon originally was it was booksellers, correct? And then it just has just grown into this conglomerate. What the frick are we talking about? I'll get off this topic, but I'm really happy to hear that. And libraries are just so great. There are so many other hidden amenities and, you know, community features that they offer that people I don't think are aware of. Libraries are great, and I think there is a growing appreciation for them. Similarly to how I think a pushback to this will be, people are going to actively be going out to the theaters more. What's up, Ilfman Editore? Ciao, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I've recently gotten a PS2, PS3, PS5, and N64. What is the N6? Is that Nintendo? I'm an idiot. And have a library set of DVDs and games. Save those, Patrick. Save those. Such a good point, Ty. They need to hire more ushers for theaters. That's true. Movie theater etiquette is just out the window. I know I've ranted about this. I'll never forget when we went to see Oppenheimer. We were sitting pretty front row. We were as close to the front section as you could get without getting to the front seats. And this was LA, so of course, you know, this kind of like hipster looking, fancy looking couple came in with they had a pit bull, and the dog was cute. The dog was not problematic at all. This is on them, not the dog. Just disclaimer up front, he was fine. But I just felt so bad because that movie is crazy. In IMAX, the sound, and dogs they have heightened hearing. Like, I was sitting in there like, I need earplugs. I'm gonna go deaf. Like, it's a crazy, obviously, that movie in particular for some of the sound effects. But I was just thinking about this literally was sitting next to me, like sitting right next to me. He wasn't in a seat. He was on the floor spread out, but I just was thinking, this has got to be killing him. His ears, at least. Just bring back. What? You don't have to bring your pit bull to the movies and subject them to that, because I'm not making this up, right? Dogs have heightened hearing. Heightened senses. I swear they do. Yeah, smell and hearing. That poor thing. If I was sitting there in IMAX getting... I can only imagine. Like, but he wasn't freaking out. To his credit, like, he actually did bark a couple of times. But I don't blame him. I do not blame him. That's on that. Like, just there's so many reasons why people aren't going to theaters anymore, because of the ticket prices, because then you have that where somebody's dog is next to you, and hey, he could have been barking the whole time, and then we would have had a real problem. And I'm sure that happens to some people, or they're on their phone the whole darn time. Like, just, I can't. Libraries are my place for peace and quiet. I love to hear that, Bew. I'm trying to go more, and seek out some in the DC area to go do some work. Do I know there's a book trilogy about Padme? I do, Emery's. I still have to get my hands on those. Can I be real, y'all? I don't even know if I'd be able to read them, because I have, and it's honestly grown in recent years, especially after I saw the prequels in theaters this spring. My disdain for they did her dirty. Like, I felt it. I've always had it. It's always been deep-seated, my kind of, I don't want to say resentment, but just the anger and anguish that I have about how her story came to an end after she was literally like the queen of my childhood. I can't think. The more I think about it, I feel bad, because if I go off, that's maybe the most unsavory kind of opinion that I have about the biggest vendetta that I have. So, and it has been heightened in recent years. And also because there's just Padme erasure, which I'm not even going to get into that, but I mean, I could get into it if y'all want to hear me rant, Kenobi being the most recent offender. Oh God, but I think I would be, yeah, I don't know if I'd even be able to bring myself to read them. But I would love to have them even as a collector's piece. Is Alice here? Let's get it. Just woke up. Oh my gosh, how early is it over there for you guys? I'll be back on soon if you're still here. I will be, Alice. And hey, Queen, I'll be seeing you in the World Cup. We're gonna have USA versus Australia. I realized that after the draw this week, I was like, oh my God, we're gonna be facing Alice. I'm looking forward to it, though. I have a feeling that's gonna be a good game. That's such a good point. Chipster Camarillo, sorry. Not only just movie etiquette, but theater etiquette, like people coming inside with food and drinks. That's a good point. Like when I was younger, I feel like the menus at movie theaters were candy and popcorn and like that was it. Now you could get like a full course meal, but it's just so annoying how the first, 15 minutes of movies anymore are show up on time or don't show up at all. Like how we all had the same time on our ticket. It even tells you now on the AMC website, and maybe this is why people are abusing the system, but it's like even when you buy an AMC ticket anymore, it will tell you actual movie starts at this time. Trailers, runtime of the trailers is this. Like this is the real showtime of the movie now, probably because you can't go see a freaking AMC movie anymore without 45 minutes of trailers. Everything is the problem anymore. So, but it's like, we literally have now. It's painted right there for you. You don't have to do the guesswork anymore and assume that there's just going to be 30 minutes. It tells you. So, yeah, the first 10 minutes, though, still of any movie are people coming in with like a full course meal of food. It's like, y'all, come on. Bring back the days where it was just candy and popcorn and it wasn't $50 worth of concessions. I'm still not sure why Padme died. You and me both, Ty. I could go off about it. I could go off. Alistralia. I like that nickname, Bird Church. Have I haven't heard of this, Jared. Hang on. I think you're enlightening me. You've heard about how one of Lucas's writers actually had a real arc for Padme in Revenge of the Sith where she almost killed Anakin. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I've seen that concept art, but couldn't follow through because she still saw the man that she loved. Yes, I have seen that concept piece where she's got a knife, which is what would be actually happening if we want to talk about reality for a second. She's on the verge of delivering. She's got her hormones are going to be... She's gonna be in fight, flight, survival mode, y'all. She's none of this like denial. Like I can't. Listen, I've never been pregnant, so I don't know what those, but I can only imagine if you're on the verge of delivering twins, if you're that pregnant, you're not taking shiz from anybody, let alone, hey, my husband has just literally destroyed society as I know it, and I'm about to pop out 2 babies. Now, I wonder if she knew she was having twins. Surely she must. I don't know, because she would have told Anakin. They just kept referring to it as the singular baby, so she probably didn't, which also kind of shocks me. I feel like that's a little bit of a plot hole. Like, you're telling me Star Wars, the universe that has heightened technology beyond even our realm, and they couldn't do an ultrasound? Like, ay. But yeah, I can imagine she'd be a little more pissed off than... Exactly, she wouldn't have been helpless, Black Box. It really honestly hit me. I think it especially hit me this spring when we went to see the re-release. We went to see that marathon at the El Capitan in Hollywood to kind of pregame the hype for Revenge of the Sith, the re-release in theaters this year. And we went to see, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, all in that one big marathon. I think that's why it hit me, seeing them all back to back to back, and seeing just the evolution and rather de-evolution of Padme's character. And it kind of really was like a gut punch, just taking it all in at once, seeing it all, in a continuous loop of how, like, It frustrated me. I think I spent my childhood being just more so sad about, you know, Padme's fate, and this just made me angry. Um, exactly, Pew Pew. She didn't shy away from fighting in battles, especially if Anakin was going into the dark. Right, right. Like, oh God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It almost, the way you say that, it kind of reminds me of what I love about the show, the series Vikings. The women in that show, and historically, like I'm pretty sure this is backed up by real facts, the women were revered for as warriors in that show and in that day and age, and the wives were going toe to toe with their husbands and outliving them sometimes. Like they could hold their own, and that's kind of similar energy for Padme. It was Anakin who was following her into battle at times, and sorry, y'all. Tom's gaming in the other room, so if you can hear somebody screaming in the background, I don't think you can, but if you hear some occasional outbursts, that's why. So yeah, like Padme encompasses that same energy, and she was like a true warrior on the battlefield and in the political field. Like she was doing it all just for her. I can't. It'll make me mad, and I don't want to sound angry, but I feel like it's justified, especially because, you know, she was built to be such a great. I'm just looking at a Padme poster that I have in my room right now. I'm trying not to be salty about it, but every time I look at it, it just pisses me off. I just get upset about what she was frankly reduced to, and I've gone off about this in one of those first videos I ever made on this channel, literally filming in like my college apartment room. You know, why I love Attack of the Clones so much. I know that's like a cardinal sin to confess. I know that's like sacrilege to admit that that's one of my favorite of the prequels, but it's because, sorry, that's the one where Padme has like the most screen time, and you know, isn't depicted as, she's holding her own, and if anything, putting Anakin in his place, and they're building upon, you know, what they established with her in the Phantom Menace. Yeah, it hurts. Team Lagertha, exactly, tied. That's who I was thinking of. Oh, I love Vikings. There was a lot of cheating going on. Do not get me wrong. There is not a lot of morality in that show. Like, you're actively rooting for, these people are doing some of the worst possible things. Pillaging and other, you know, committing other horrific acts against humanity in the name of conquest. And you can hear Tom, Daddy Josh. Yeah, sorry about that, y'all. If you hear somebody in the background, he's not being held hostage. He's just gaming. But yeah, no, nobody in that show, everybody in that show was flawed, which is why I loved it, because you just release your inhibitions and accept that you're gonna just be picking favorites and rooting for all these people, but they all make mistakes, and there's a moment for every character on that show where you want to just reach through the screen and grab them by the freaking collar and say, what the frick are you doing? But they always would bring it back. Like, the way they would treat the characters on that show. Sorry, I'm knocking the mic around all day today, apologies. The way they treated characters on that show with just such like honor and appreciation, and they all had a great send-off, you know, whenever their time came, if their time came, you know, like they acknowledged the legacy of their characters, and in my opinion, gave them all like a perfect, would bring it back, you know, like, or if somebody deserved the karma that they got, they made sure it was coming for them, you know. Like, it was, oh god, waiting the amount of waiting I did to see a certain character and get what was coming to her. But yeah, love that show. Nobody's doing it like Vikings in terms of the appreciation for the writing for their characters, in my opinion. Interesting point, Chipster. It's possible that Anakin choked her, but it was Luke and Leia who kept her alive, like their life source and the force within them. That's actually a pretty, I didn't think about that. Holy, wait a second. Holy shit. How have I never heard that theory? You always hear it was Palpatine who drained her life, who, I don't believe that, by the way. I don't subscribe to that. I mean, it would be, I kind of wish that I did buy into that, because that's a better justification, like that there was some third party intervention through the Force, or some evil, malicious, the energy being drained from her to supply Anakin. If Palpatine was doing something, I don't subscribe to that. I wish I did, because that's a better justification for why she perished the way she did. If Palpatine was secretly draining her life source and telekinetically through the ether transferring it to Anakin, that's why I don't even know he would be doing that. I don't know. But that's at least a better explanation than, oh, she just died from sadness. No, I refute that. I reject that wholeheartedly. Frick that. No, but I don't have another alternative. So that's crazy, Chipster. I've never thought of it that way. I've never heard that. Holy frick, that, because it is literally instantaneously after she delivers Leia. I can't believe I never thought. Holy frick. Oh my god, sorry. I'm rendered, like, speechless. That's such a better justification. Damn. Sorry. That just rocked my world. How did I never think about that? I'm good. That's my new headcanon. Thank you for that. That just changed my life. I could watch Vikings again, says Ty. Sorry, I was just getting my bearings because my life just been altered. Agreed. I kind of really have been having a hankering to do a rewatch, Ty. It's such a good. I like attacking the clones. I'm still on the belief that Palpatine had a hand in Padme's death. I'd believe that, Sean. Like, I do. I'm not saying I reject the notion that he had any sort of involvement. Like, he could have been pulling some sort of strings, because Padme was such a key part of his manipulation of Anakin. Like, she was a big pawn for the mind games in order to lure Anakin to his causes and latch on to him. Like, so, I like, there was something, but I don't know. Like, I don't necessarily believe that he was taking Padme's life source and funneling it into Anakin. I don't even know how you would be doing that. They were on other planets. They were not remotely. I don't know. Burchurch, really good point. Vikings were also the first to give women rights such as the right to divorce, dividing assets, and other progressive rights for its time. Yeah, I mean, we saw what happened to. Never mind, I'm not going to spoil it, but we see the effects of that in the show, and that some women go on to do even better than their ex-husbands. Oh, goodness. The Blood Eagle. Don't even get me started, Ty. Ooh, yeah, that show actually was some of the craziest shows I've ever seen. Oh, Daddy Josh, so true. Bjorn made countless mistakes, but still my top 3 favorites. He's a prime example of that, but he always came out on top. Oh, Bjorn, I love Bjorn. I hate that, oh, Floki is also such a good character. Ivar the Boneless. That's tough. I always had a tricky relationship with him. It was interesting because one of my, it was my friend, it was actually Alex, who is here, and my friend Olivia, who you guys know. A lot of you guys helped to fund her short film, which is actually able to be watched now. I gotta find the link to that and share it. She recently finished post-production, and it's available for viewing, I'm pretty sure. She's the one who introduced me to that show. Sorry, my face is itchy. I'm gonna stop touching it. And she had prefaced it by saying that Ivar was one of her favorite characters. So I was like, oh, all right, like, I'm hyped. What's he gonna do? And then I was like, what? He kept doing some things I wasn't expecting. I was like, well, Olivia says he's her favorite, so like he's gotta come around. So I was just, it like caught me off guard. Fitzurk was one of my favorite characters, and that was tough for me to grapple with after. Let's just say everybody makes some really fatal mistakes on that show, but they all come around. Like, oh, it's just such a good show. But yeah, Bjorn will always be my favorite of Ragnar's sons. I still hate Rollo. Can I be honest? He was one of my favorite characters too. I really loved Rollo at first, but he was so flawed. He was very flawed, but I felt for him, like, it was so hard to stay mad at like, because he was, how do I say this? He does horrific, awful things, and he's weak. He's just at his core just weak and envious and just so full of pride. But it's just the second born syndrome. So you know, it's just part, like, and I'm the second born child as well, and I don't have the ops that he has, but like, you know, I could relate to certain aspects of that it's like the way birth order just can totally dictate and affect your whole life. That was kind of the crux for him, and why I always just like never fully hated, but he just disappointed me. It's like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Oh gosh. Ragnar is the most fun. One great character. Phenomenal character. And Travis Fimmel, just like, wow. John Blake, good point. I assumed we're still talking about Padme, that she had died from health problems due to stress and being choked. Like, that's valid. I hate this. She's lost the will to live. I reject that. That's fake. That's fake. That's fake. I don't believe that. I would sooner believe the medical complications of it. Like, yeah, she was in distress, literal lack of oxygen, was out cold for who knows how long, and went into premature labor, and hey, delivered twins in a weakened, you know, injured state. Probably was concussed. Like, she, you know, Anakin had her in a chokehold and slammed her back down to the ground. Like, I'd sooner buy into the validity of that. Dying from heart, it's a real thing, says Ace, but hey, she is in the afterlife. Enjoy that thought. That's true. She was in a better world. That's the only consolation that I can take from that, because she wouldn't have wanted to live in you know, the world that Anakin created. And she would have been living in a world without Anakin. So like, you know, he was non-existent. It was the same for both of them. They couldn't live without each other. So I do believe that. Chips, sir. This is about the Luke and Leia keeping her alive. To be honest, I just thought about it, but you're more than welcome to do it. I'm gonna roll with that. I am. He played on Anakin's greatest fear, exactly, losing Padme. I just watched the Night of the Seven Kingdoms trailer, Stanley's. I literally just watched it last night when I was browsing on HBO for something to watch. I'm excited for it. I don't know if I'm gonna do reactions to it, but I'm excited. I just don't know anything about it, so I'm excited. So maybe reactions would be a little bit better. That's my only concern going forward with my House of the Dragon content, because I finished Fire and Blood, so nothing's, well, unless they deviate, which they have, which I have vendettas now, because I have qualms, because they have. Now that I've read the book, some of the character motivations and decision making and just demeanor and whatnot is not reminiscent of what is in the book, the sacred texts, the archives. So maybe they'll continue to do things, you know, in surprise fashion or whatnot that would still be enjoyable to watch. But my reactions won't necessarily be, you know, everything that went down in season 1, that was all shock to my system. So going forward now, I don't know if my reactions will necessarily have the same levels of surprise naturally, because I finished the book, but I feel more equipped to speak to, you know, certain character motivations and whatnot, and to combat the Game of Thrones fans in the comment section. Game of Thrones fans are harsh. They are hardcore. So I feel more equipped to handle them now. But I don't know anything about the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, Dunk and Egg, those characters, that whole story. So I just don't know. I don't have the confidence. Like, all this is to say, I feel more confident reacting to House of the Dragon now, because I am no longer afraid of spoilers and know how things pan out, and have more of an informed, you know, idea of where these characters are coming from, and, you know, what they're supposed to be like, and why people have qualms now. Like, I've seen the light, in terms of just the direction that show has gone, but I don't have that same. I don't know anything. So maybe that would be better. I literally don't know a thing about that storyline. So, I mean, maybe I'll do reactions to it. But truthfully, the House of the Dragon, my season 2 reactions didn't really. Not that I go into anything anymore deciding whether it would be worth reacting to for view purposes, but it's just a trend I noticed that the Game of Thrones content from season 2, House of the Dragon, wasn't popping off, and I think that's just because it was a weaker season. So who knows? Maybe the Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I don't know. I just haven't seen much chatter about it, so like I don't know. Peace out, Jared. Thank you for being here. Gonna go soon-ish, but before I go, wanted to wish everybody happy holidays. You yourself too. Right back at you, and happy New Year. If there's no live stream between now and then, there will be, y'all. There will be. I have a lot of paint/draw with me streams in store, because truthfully, I accept and I know that my grad school work has kind of made me have to not put YouTube on a back seat, but I realized, you know, for example, the month of October, I was going pedal to the metal with YouTube. And then when the time came to actually get my assignment together for my, you know, first module of school, I was like, whoa, I met a harsh reality. So I'm trying to learn to like balance them better, and find an equal. Oh God, no, I just did the 6-7. No, that's what it is, right? 6-7. Stop. Anyway, my goal is to try to integrate it more and do some more, like, come study with me, come do schoolwork with me. I just didn't do any of that for my first module of school because I was not really proud of the work that I did there, and I didn't really know what I was doing. This current module, I'm so freaking excited about it, even though I still don't fully know what I'm doing. I'm way more like ramped up and excited and want to share it with you guys, because we're doing this current module. We're learning about, you know, narrative and sequential art and kind of comics and whatnot, and so I have a really fun project that I'm working on, and I want to share it with you guys. So literally, like, this week we will probably do some, like, come do some schoolwork with me streams, because I have to get locked in game time mode. Sorry, so that was a tangent. So thank you for being here, Jared. We will definitely see you before the new year. Do not fret. But thank you for joining. Sorry, catch my breath. The Night of the Seven Kingdoms is supposed to be small scale. Could you elaborate on that, emu violence? I mean, I know it's a big pivot from, like, it's focusing more on the small folk, but the Targaryen family still plays a little bit of a role, correct? Okay, Dunk and Egg is very well liked in the Song of Ice and Fire fandom. Okay. Alright, so maybe should I do reactions? I don't know. Star Wars fans can be hardcore too, Ty. Don't get, like, I am not refuting that. Whoa, sorry, my chat just glitched. Lock in for finals. That's what I had to do, Caber. Also, welcome. I saw that you said you had just woken up. Thanks for being here. Alice is back. Let's go. Let's go. The Last Kingdom is also a great show if you like Vikings. That's the one with what's his face, right? I gotta be honest. I started that one. Yes, okay, I started it. Uhtred. I started that show. I didn't vibe with it as immediately as I vibed with Vikings, but maybe I need to just give it a fair chance. And I have to watch the Vikings sequel series on Netflix too, because I think it focuses on there's a lot of the same lineage of characters who are, you know, kind of several generations removed from legacy characters in the original show and whatnot. So I've been tapped out. I gotta get into it. I don't have a show I'm currently watching, y'all. I gotta get back into something. But maybe it's because I've been busy. I don't know. Whenever I have a show, like when I was watching Vikings, I wasn't doing shit, y'all. I was so unproductive. I would low-key just be watching episode after episode after episode. So maybe that's why I pumped the brakes and I haven't gotten into like a big epic. Why is everybody saying cat no? What did I do? I'm always down for the more chill vibe streams. It will be chill. It will be. Oh, because I did the 6-7. Sorry. I forgot about that. Oh, God. I had to just, like, retrace my steps. Oh, God. I'm glad that y'all. What's up, Job? Thanks for joining. Congrats on 66K. I don't know how long I can stay, but just wanted to pop in. It's not a stream till you're here, Chop. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. Thanks for being here. Oh, okay, sorry. Catching my breath. Yes, painting stuff. It will be. I'll share, oh my gosh, Alice, yes, I don't know if you were here when I was chirping at you. We're playing each other. Are we excited for the World Cup next year? We are in the same group, but to BH, I don't really go for them. Times of games are weird, though. Yeah, the gaming schedule will definitely be... I mean, I'm spoiled as a, you know, North American resident, so it's obviously more conducive to US, Mexico, Canadian... you know, the time zones and everything, so I do feel bad, but like low-key we paid our dues. I remember for the 2022 World Cup, we went to a watch party at a place in downtown LA that's like this big sports bar, and we were going to big games to watch the US men's games that were playing at like 6 a.m. Pacific time, and we were going to wait in line at like 4:30 in the morning to get in and get first access. And we were having spinach and artichoke dip and beer at 6 o'clock in the morning. It was insane. It was crazy. So I'm excited to not have to do that again this time around. But I do feel bad because there's a lot of random times. They definitely tried with the scheduling to have it fit, you know, put the European teams on the East Coast at early-ish times. You know, like they tried their best, but obviously it's not going to be conducive to the global schedule. But I'm excited to face y'all in the world. I'm excited, Alice. Australia versus US. We have a good group. We lucked out. It could have been a lot worse. This was honestly along the lines of best case scenario in terms of the draw. So I'm getting hype, y'all. Low-key, we might be doing some World Cup content in the spring/summertime next year to just get hyped, because sadly it has become one of my life's passions. I'm really locked in. Apologies, my chat is glitching a little bit, so ahoy, Mercurian Funk, waves from Stockholm. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome. How cold is it for you over there? Speaking of Vikings, must be chilly up in your parts. Chipster is also Australian. Let's go. Represent, y'all. We have global dominance for Order 66 here. That's right, and it's the Winter Olympics. I forgot about that. I love watching soccer in the morning. It brings out the weirdest people. That's true, Emu. What's up, Nick Gundy? Thanks for being here. We're talking about a lot. We've been talking about Vikings, the World Cup, 2026, my angst about the way in which Padme's character was handled, Night of the Seven Kingdoms. We've been talking about quite a lot. It's grayish and Mordorish. Whoa, speaking of, that's such a good point, Mercurian. Did y'all see that it's gonna be freaking the extended edition? Can I talk? the extended editions of the Lord of the Rings trilogy are being re-released in theaters next year. And I think I have to go. I think I gotta do this to avenge my younger self who never got to go see them because I was too young in the actual theaters. Alex, what is up? Hey, Kat, congratulations on 66K. You rock, my friend. Thank you. Right back at you, Alex. Thank you so much for being here. Stranger Things. Can I be honest with y'all? I just don't. And here's why. Here's my exact reason, and I'll tell you honestly why, and this is gonna sound pathetic, but this is the genuine truth. I really can't stand watching media that takes place in like middle school / high school, except for Cobra Kai. Before y'all call me out as a hypocrite, Cobra Kai is the exception. That show rocks. Even though I never actually finished it, I still have to. That's the only exception. That's where I draw the line. That's the one and only line that I will draw and make exceptions for Cobra Kai. Other than that, I really don't like watching stuff that takes place in like middle school / high school. I just don't, because I hate watching. And from what I've seen, I think a lot of these kids in Stranger Things, they're kind of like a ragtag team, kind of like It, where they're kind of like, on the fringes of they're not popular, they get dunked on, they're dealing with other crazy, otherworldly, extraterrestrial shiz, whatever the frick is going on in that show. And I know they all probably have a strong friend group and friendship and whatnot, and that's what unifies. But I just don't like watching. I really just don't enjoy watching high school stuff. I can't. Please finish Cobra Kai. I have to. I'm so behind. I just fell off because it kind of took a while for the final season to come out, and didn't they split it into 2? So I kind of was just a little bit mentally tapped out because it had been a while, and then I knew that it wasn't going to be actually finished, that they were going to make you wait longer because nothing on Netflix, because Netflix is ruining motherfucking everything, and now you can't even get a final season of anything, and they make you wait because they have to extend the payment period because they have to spread it over multiple months. Like, everything is ruined, everything. And so I tapped out. I was like, let me just wait until that's done. Now, I knew somebody was going to talk about Skeleton Crew, Alex. They're in, like, elementary school. I feel like they're in elementary school. Mercurian, isn't that, like, 50% of American horror movies that they take place in high school? High school in itself is a horror movie. Oh my gosh, I'm catching flack for not finishing Cobra Kai. I will, y'all, I promise. I need to. I have to. But Skeleton Crew, they're younger. I'd call that like elementary school. Eagle Fang. It's so true, Nick Gunny. Ned's Declassified and Hey Arnold. Ned's Declassified is actually a great show. Listen, I liked these things when I was younger, like Drake and Josh, Ned's Declassified, School Survival Guide. Like, I liked all these when I was younger, but I never watched like Euphoria. And I'll be honest, like, it's because I don't like watching media where kids are getting bullied, because I lived through that shit and I don't need to watch it now. I'm too, like, I just don't need to be reminded of it. Low key, no, I won't say that. But I just don't have fond memories. Until like my tail end of high school, everything up until that point, I'm still trying to delete from my brain, from just my existence, and I just really don't like to be reminded of it. That's very vulnerable to admit, but that's honestly why. And so if that's a lame ass reason, that's my real, like, I just don't like watching kids get bullied, kids go through a tough time. I'd rather not. I just don't. Oh god. Oh, that is crazy tight. Millie Bobby Brown has a child now. That's right. That's gotta be crazy. I'm sure the cast, they started when they were like 10 years old filming that, and now they're 20. It's been like a decade of their life. They're probably ready to tap out. Ending of Cobra Kai hit you in the feels big time, Ty? Oh god, I gotta lock in. Per charge. I thought I had put YouTube speed up to 1.25 there. Yeah, sorry about that. Oh, God. Oh, that's right, Wednesday. That's not the reason I haven't watched Wednesday. I have to watch. I would be interested in watching it. To be completely honest, I just remember when that show came out, I was like, this is a really cool concept, but what could you occupy an entire season of with, you know? I mean, I guess Adam's Family is just the gift that keeps on giving and it has eternal content, but I don't know. But I heard a lot of people, I should watch that for just like a casual thing. Euphoria isn't my jam. Yeah, I think it will be better because they're aging all of them up. Like, so much of that show, I was like, my suspension of disbelief expires here because these are 30-year-old actors and this is not real anymore. That's why I say this all the time. That's why Cobra Kai is the exception I will make, because they were casting, you know, when all those actors were originally cast, they were age appropriate and looked like it. So much of that cast actually looked like you were walking into a real high school. They've obviously all gotten older, but they still, nobody ever was verging on like, you have active wrinkles, like, no, they all still looked very age appropriate, and it honestly followed them because they all, you know, were starting out in early high school and then, you know, aged up. So that show, like, whoever cast that was cooking and broke the stupid freaking mold of being 18 to play younger and verging on 30 years old trying to play a high schooler, which is just like, you don't have to, why not make this college? Euphoria, I think maybe I would have been interested if it functioned as, this is college. This is a college show, which it will be. I think it will be post-college. I think the time jump now between the latest and third season is going to be. Sorry. Mercurian Funk, how kind of you. Thank you so much for your pain. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That is very generous of you. Oh my goodness. But yes, I've not watched The Boys, John Blake. I've had that one on my list to do reactions to as well. However, I don't know how I'd be able to do that because from what you guys have warned me, it's kind of in the same caliber as like Deadpool, and how difficult that is to edit to be in a, you know, format for this channel. Chop, thank you so much for joining us, even for just a little bit, gracing us with your presence. We love it. I gotta go. However, I've sent a little juicy detail on Twitter about the new edit in celebration of your subscriber miles. Okay. Enjoy, and I'll catch you all later. Oh, Chopper, you tease. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go after this. I'm gonna go rush to check that out. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, it's Swedish. I didn't know what it was either, Ty, but thank you. We are appreciative for any currency here. That makes me sound so freaking greedy. I didn't mean it like that, but thank you so much for Mercurian Funk. Yeah, sorry to go on a tangent about why I hate high school and middle school themed the settings for that type of media. I just don't want to relive that time of my life. Now, I will say, I think I'll make an exception for, like, I really want to watch Twin Peaks. We talked about that in our last stream that we did. There, I will make an exception for that because that focuses on some high school stuff, correct? The Boys is more graphic than Terrifying. Huh? Oh, shit. I didn't know that. Oh, I mean, yeah, I've definitely seen things going viral online from that show. I don't know, that might not ever make the cut of something I react to, but I might have to just watch to be in the know. I have such a big list of things that are still, that I'm on the threshold of debating whether I react to it or just watch it for fun on my own time, but I think Fallout has always been really highly requested, and the new season of that is coming out. The other show, The Expanse, is one that it would be like a sleeper pick. Like, I don't know how popular it is, but every time I mention that, people come jumping out and are like, that is one of the best shows, science fiction wise, that they've ever seen. So that's been on my list for a really long time because people really hype that up. And so I'm down. There's definitely Arcane is always frequently requested. So there's so many shows that I teeter on, and this is just unfortunately my kryptonite. My character flaw. Like I just have this large list, and I can't mentally decide which ones to react to and which ones I should just watch and enjoy on my own time. And so by proxy, my default is I just don't do any of them. So I need to just make a decision for, just one at a time, chip away at them. Good point, LOL Caber. There's so many shows and movies to watch as we wait for Ahsoka season 2. And that's right, Maul Shadow Lord. So like I should just pick something. Alex, I need to see The Expanse and Fallout. I've been busy, but I want to see them. Same. Arcane is awesome. The Expanse, like, Arcane is fun and looks amazing. Right, like, I would love to watch that show for the visual. Like, the artwork looked beautiful. The animation style. I would love to check it out for that reason. Thanks for reminding me that I need to watch Arcane. Well, maybe we can do it together, y'all. Maybe we can get in on it together. Like, I found myself in tears watching Arcane. Right, like, I saw a lot of people, when one of the latest, whatever the latest season, because it's over, right? That was a 2 and done type thing. So, like, that would be an easy show for me to just do. It wouldn't take very long, and I saw a lot of people sharing the same sentiment. Like, I saw people saying that they were crying in fetal position when the latest season of that show ended. So I have to get on that. But there's other just big cultural shows that I want to watch too that would have nothing to do with the channel. Like, I've never seen Lost, and I know that has a very what is the word I'm looking for, controversial finale, but is one of just the biggest shows in general in the cultural zeitgeist. And that's right, Fallout season 2. Oh, that's coming out in like 3 days. Holy shnikes. Maybe I should do the first season and be behind, be late to the game. I'm almost tearing up now just thinking about it. Oh god. I loved Lost, says Alice. Right, like I would love to. Lost is actually worth it. That's one thing. Like, I hear that the finale of that show gets chalked up into similar conversations. I don't know. Call me out and fact check me. This is just my perception. That is like a very highly contentious finale, perhaps similarly to the Game of Thrones finale. But I don't know. Call me out on that. I don't know whether it's the Game of Thrones finale. I don't know if it's necessarily contentious because I think it was just unanimously very disliked, versus Lost is maybe more just controversial and highly debated, like mixed opinions. I'm not sure. But for example, thank you so much, John. And our number 2 ranker. Let's get it. Thank you very much. Been watching the Teen Titans live action series, Titans, and some people don't like it, but I thought it's all right. I hear a lot about that one. I'm admittedly just very ill-informed on the Teen Titans universe, but I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying it, in spite of what others say. Enjoy whatever you want to enjoy. Heck yes. Don't let other people ruin it for you. Even though I'm about to say that if somebody now were to ask me, hey, should I watch Game of Thrones? I don't know if I would tell them to. You know, when that show was on, I was like shaming anybody that I knew who wasn't watching. Shame. Like, if they weren't in on the Game of Thrones hype, I was like, you're missing out. Now I don't know. Now if somebody were to be like, hey, should I watch Game of Thrones? I'd be a little more tentative. I'd be a little bit more like, at your own risk. Enter at your own risk. So I don't know. Is Lost the same way? But you guys are saying that you loved it, so maybe I'm just I'm panicking for nothing. Lost kind of wrote themselves into a corner. Yeah, somebody mentioned that they suffered from the writer's strike, so I'd have to see. I really have always wanted to watch that show though, so Mercurian Funk. I love that. I can't actually remember subbing to your channel, but I'm glad that you're still here. Listen, I love that. That's a better confession than whenever we're streaming and people will come in the chat and be like, why was this on my page? And it's like, I don't know, but you clicked on it at least. Like, so that's at least better. I love the self-awareness. Thanks for being here either way. Much appreciated. We welcome you here whether you made a mistake in subscribing or not. In my opinion, Lost hasn't aged well. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. That's one that I just feel like is up there with like Sopranos, which I have to get back into. I had started that one and tapered off. Just in there with like big culturally iconic shows that I need to just watch to be cultured and informed. So maybe I'll just do that one on my own time. I don't know. Especially because I feel like it might be hard. Well, I've avoided spoilers all this long, so oh, welcome, Chipster. This is your first time in the chat / in a stream, but I usually follow your horror reactions. Well, thank you. I'm trying to broach. Thanks for being here either way, because I'm now that I've delved more into horror content, even though that's only kind of like a small chunk of the channel and happens periodically, I know we gained a lot of folks from that. So like, are the horror fans here confused when I talk about other things and admit, oh no, oh frick, are we still live? Holy frick. Oh my god. My YouTube just crashed. If you're still here. Okay. Oh no. Oh my god. Are we still here? Holy frick. Hello. Oh god. Y'all, my thing just crashed. We are still alive. Okay, phew! Holy crap. That was scary. My whole like server just crashed. Okay, we're here. We're alive. Phew! Oh my gosh, sorry y'all witnessed me having a heart attack. My screen literally just crashed entirely. Throwback to that stream that paint stream that we did earlier this year. If y'all were there, you'll remember where my computer literally was shut off. But then we came back on. Like my computer was dead as a door, dead on site, dead in the water. And I was like, oh, there's no way. And then I logged back on and the stream was still going. You guys were all still in the chat. You guys remember that? That was insane. So I was getting scared that something like that was about to just happen. It wasn't my computer though. It was just YouTube needed to reboot or something. I don't know. The system is overloaded with our energy. We order 66 Google Chrome. All right. I'm glad y'all didn't disappear. I got so nervous. But yes, as I was saying, I am curious about how the horror fans and everybody now, because I know that some of you guys are not big into horror as well. So I'm trying to strike a balance on honoring the OGs, everybody who was here with the Star Wars content and still staying true to that, but integrating the horror content because it's honestly some of the most fun stuff to make. It's honestly been easier for me to start acclimating and becoming a horror fan, I think, because I do it in this way where I can laugh at myself and, you know, look back in hindsight on me in the trenches, you know, watching some of this stuff, but then being able to look at it and realize that I'm alive and I'm still okay. So that's just why it's been some of my favorite content to just edit, like, to be able to laugh at myself and, you know, and whatnot. So, oh, some of you guys were there for that paint stream. Yeah, that was a crazy time. Oh, goodness. Sorry, Tom is still chirping in the background. It's almost like every time I go silent to catch my breath, Tom's over there dropping F-bombs. So, sorry if you can hear that. I think I followed a really good channel. Seems like you have tons to watch. I do, Mercurian. I do. And so many, not just TV shows, but culturally iconic films. Like, yeah. I'm glad I didn't get too lit up after confessing that I hadn't seen The Mummy. Everybody was very welcoming and supportive in that comment section of that reaction. But admittedly, obviously, that's crazy to admit that I had not seen that movie, but everybody was supportive and welcoming. So yeah, we're chipping away at all of the culturally significant cinema. But even after watching stuff like The Mummy and The Thing, I think I really want to get into the more I watch older films, the more it, you know, makes me feel something, because modern filmmaking is not the same. You know, I'm not gonna go on that tangent again, but I feel this kind of heightened appreciation for, and almost feels like I'm being spoiled, you know, watching some of these older movies that look visually more appealing. I kind of just can't imagine, because I've kind of grown up and witnessed the rise of CGI, and in the early days when it was really like applauded, is that a word? Applauded for, you know, the innovation and the way it changed movies and whatnot, and when it was really more impressive. You know, I was growing up in the day like of Pirates of the Caribbean. And yes, I'm one of those phonies who says Caribbean instead of Caribbean, because yeah, I call it the Caribbean in my everyday life, but it's Pirates of the Caribbean. Like those were the cusps of early CGI that looks better than shiz now. Davy Jones, are y'all kidding me? Like, and it's so funny seeing that movie being kind of held on this throne of, look at what we had. Like, this is, God, I'm just doing everything to rattle my mic today. Look at what we had. This was CGI being used for good, because it amplified, and they were unlocking new achievement and visuals that were just like, who else is doing it like this? Those movies, I hold to this kind of like the standard. Whereas now, nothing looks that good. Now CGI is like, ew, get it away from me, you know, versus I was growing up when, in the early days, when it was being used for good, and CGI artists weren't being overly worked and abused, frankly, in a system, you know, where they're being underpaid and overworked and have, you know, shamefully small wiggle room amounts of time to achieve their art. That is an art form, and obviously if you give somebody a time crunch and they're not paid or appreciated properly, it's not going to look great. So that's, you know, the de-evolution of what has happened and transpired with CGI. Now it's like, I had it really when I was growing up, that's when it was really good. And then it's like the Lord of the Rings versus the Hobbit. I'm so sorry, y'all. And Tom accuses me of being the biggest Hobbit hater of all time, but it pains me to watch those movies. It does. Because how are you going to just, I won't get into, I won't. And I say this, and I mean this with my whole chest, like, we were spoiled and we didn't know it. Like, I think at the time we were like, imagine where this will be in 10 years. But it's been 10 years and it's worse. We're worse off. But I hold, like, you know, Lord of the Rings to a state, like, there are things, but, and I know there's moments in them that maybe aren't the best, but those movies will hold up forever. Will literally be eternally, in my opinion, regarded as a standard that isn't unachievable anymore. And then The Hobbit, like, listen, those are like, I really do love those movies whenever I rewatch them, and I do feel bad because after I do rewatch them, I'm kind of like, all right, I've seen the light. There's something special about them, but the visuals, like, come on, there's no real mountains in those movies. It's tough. I don't, that's my only qualm with those movies, that and only that. It's the CGI orcs, exactly, Ty. Exactly. All right, I'm gonna do a quick little catch up. Oh god, let's not have a repeat of Pet Sematary. That was kind of rough to watch. Yeah, Steve, in hindsight, I do feel bad about that, because a lot of people were genuinely concerned. Listen, I came out of it fine, y'all, and that was one of my favorite reactions that we did because it rocked my world so much. Let's go, View. I became a fan through the Star Wars content and stayed for the horror content. My two faves. I'm so glad. The best of both worlds. Horror movie reaction movies was legendary. Now, Kat, you know to never trust the Huskies in Alaska. Oh yeah, every time I see a Husky from here on out, giving them a little side eye. My wife and I still applaud you for Terrifier and loved it even though you didn't finish it. Can I just say, y'all, I'm so grateful that I was prepared to get more smoke for that than I did. And there were several comments that were genuinely like, you're a freaking wuss. And hey, I deserve them. But so many people, I was just shocked that a lot of people were like, power to you for not getting through this. I was like, y'all, I failed. Y'all, I scored a 0. Like, I failed. So thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. Oh, I need to watch The Mummy Returns. Yes. And I've not seen Casablanca. Like, I'm just failing at life. That's literally one of, like, the most culturally regarded greatest films ever. No, and I'm failing. Oh. Exactly, Stanley's. Hollywood seems to have forgotten how to write stories this past decade or so. We have. I've never watched Gone with the Wind either, Ty. Like, I'm just bad. So that's what I've been thinking. I'm like, maybe I'll do a run of watching and just having to come clean and admit that I've not seen any of these films and I'm a failure. I'm sorry. I am Gen Z in my blood in spite of my best efforts. At the end of the day, I'm only as good as my current generation. Sadly, I'm failing. So, sadly it shows. There are times, as much as I would like to deny my Gen Z existence, there are times where it shows, and the fact that I've not seen Casablanca or Gone with the Wind, so that's why I'm like, maybe I'll make a little run and keep delving into these older films to just appreciate what once was, because all of this was to say, I was going to make a point, like, I kind of grew up on the precipice of when CGI was new to the game, but it was good, like Pirates of the Caribbean. I can't imagine living in your guys' time. Like, it must be a completely different experience, because I've never really known a world without CGI, whereas for those of you who are really living in the good old days, like The Thing, like living in times when things had to be practical, because CGI was like really non-existent, or very little was being incorporated into film and television, like, it must be especially tragic to go from that, growing up with movies like The Thing and, you know, practical effects and real sets and filming on location because green screens didn't exist, to go from that and to see to what we have devolved to, where modern movies all just look like this. It's the Netflix syndrome. It's the Netflix effect. They're just so ugly. Just, it's sad. It's sad. Right, like Siren Chats, Star Wars is art, like seeing the modern Star Wars films. No, I will say, Star Wars has successfully, thank God, and I would expect them to, you know, transcend it. The sequel films look incredible. There's not a single scene in the sequels where I feel like it suffers because of CGI heaviness. So, like, thank God for that. Sequels visually hold up, but there is still magic to the original ones, you know? I've still never seen the original Jurassic Park, Ty. Thank you for reminding me. Like, I'm just bad. I'm really behind. So thank you for putting that one back on my radar, because I had said forever ago that I didn't see that movie and I need to watch that. So, I will always prefer practical effects. Yeah, like, that's why I kind of want to go down a rabbit hole of watching just good old-fashioned films, because they stand up for a reason. Oh, see you later, Alex. Sorry I ranted for too long. Thanks for being here. Hope you're doing well. You're right, Bew. Harry Potter, those hold up too. I need to watch the original. Yeah, I'll love it. I just never watched it because my mom convinced me that they were going to be scary. So I have to get on that. I'm committing like a cardinal sin, because I watched the new ones, like Jurassic World and whatnot, without the sacred texts, without the blueprint. So I need to watch the originals. That's such a good point, Alice. What's interesting is those like 60s and 70s psychedelic movies are very trippy and weird. I need to get in on more of them, though. That's where all the greats. Like, I've never seen Godfather, and I've done this where we've pulled up the IMDb like top 100, and I haven't seen like a majority of them. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe that'll be kind of a next chapter on this channel of I'll just go down that list of all the culturally iconic films and right my wrongs. Thank you for being here, John. Much appreciated. Our number 2 ranker. Thanks so much for joining us. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. You know what, Ty? I kind of have seen enough of Jaws to the point that it wouldn't be a pretty valid reaction. I've never seen the full thing all the way through, but I've seen it chopped up enough that I wouldn't be able to react to it, but I still need to watch it all the way through. I'll be honest, I'm always a little bit scared to watch that one because my younger brother watched that, or my older brother watched that when arguably maybe a little too young, but he convinced my mom to let him do it, and then I just remember he was really scarred after that, so I've always just been a little bit nervous to fully watch that, because we used to go to the beach a lot, but like we used to literally spend our summers like at the beach in the ocean every other day, so I didn't want to corrupt myself and ruin that. So maybe now as an adult I will I'll remedy that as well. Jaws was a great scary movie. I used to watch it all the time and still went swimming as a child, but now I'd be too scared to swim if I watched it. No way, Alice. So you were like a stone cold kid. Interesting. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's another one I've not seen. Rewatching Jaws with a fear of the ocean is a different kind of watch. Did you develop a fear of the ocean, Pew? Is it a late onset fear? I couldn't swim for a decade. Oh my god. You guys were all in the trenches with Jaws. That film ruined deep water for me. I still fear the ocean because of Jesus. You guys are the proof of why I've been afraid to watch this. Oh my god, you watched it when you were 5, Chipster? And after seeing my dad took us to the beach, I ran in because my kid mentality was Chief Brody killed the shark. Oh my goodness. Well, that's good that you were fearless. Questionable Humor says 3 films that stand out in my heart. Joe versus the Volcano. I've not actually heard of that. Cyrano de Bergerac. Oh wait, they made a remake of that with Peter Dinklage, correct? And Batman the movie, 1966. I have shamefully not seen any of that. I'm really behind on a lot of the OG Batmans. Jaws caused so many people to hunt sharks. Oh, that stinks. That's what's sad though, because you know, don't they say our likelihood of, I feel like they say this statistic every freaking year on Shark Week in the summertime on National Geographic, is that like you're more likely to have a refrigerator fall on you than, or like be struck by lightning than be attacked by a shark. But it just is so sensationalized whenever it, and I grew up, like I was young when like the Bethany Hamilton, you know, was happening, and that happened where, oh, that was in Hawaii. But that happened, yeah, 2003. Like I was really little, and I remember that being that's the biggest incident in my lifetime that I know of. But it really, like, that sparked a lot of fear for me. But what is it? The likelihood you're more likely to get struck by lightning? Sorry, I'm shaking the computer. Of getting bit. The odds of getting bitten, often cited to around 1 in 4.3 million to 1 in 11.5 million in the United States. Like, that's what our odds are, but the fear, and I'm not saying Jaws is solely responsible for this, although I'm sure it did a lot of irreparable damage to some of you guys, clearly, that, you know, like, how is it? It's just such a shame, because are sharks not endangered now? They are literally one of the most pivotal parts of the ecosystems in our oceans, and yet the rate at which they are hunted and, you know, consumed, like shark fin soup, and what the amount of sharks that are killed, out of fear, honestly, as well, and efforts to do population control or whatnot. Like, it is such a shame that we have this kind of fear of something that these odds are, you are probably more likely to have a vending machine or something fall on you, which is tragic. But it's such a kind of global fear. Like, I literally remember, like, you know, learning about, like, especially because it just gets so sensationalized, like when that happened to Bethany Hamilton, of course it was the biggest news story, and it was just, you know, they were dragging it and milking it for all they could, and there were all these kind of, you know, what to do if you're in a shark attack. And I think what she did, she punched it. She literally saved herself and, like, punched that thing. But, and so I remember, you know, like, step one, punch it in the nose, like all of this stuff that it's like we're fear mongering it. I mean, shout out if you've been attacked by a shark. Sorry, not to diminish your experience if that's ever happened to you or a loved one, but it's just so crazy how human nature, like, that scares us more than getting in our cars every day. But there's more danger, there's more inherent and immediate danger getting in our car. Peace out, Charlie, glad you could be here for a little bit. I'm not sure how much longer we will go, but if we don't see you when you return, get on those movies. I will, and Blade is on the list, don't worry. Exactly. Without sharks, the ecosystem would literally collapse. And that's why they bring back Shark Week every year, to kind of remind people, like, hey, we make this all fun and games, but it's not. Like, literally, the global consequences of losing sharks, which we're barreling towards, is like, people are not aware. Sharks scare me, but they are majestic. Exactly, time. There's a cool video where a guy just turns a shark upside down and problem solved. Right. Like, I feel like it's just so crazy, the things that we all kind of collectively fear. Like, don't get me wrong. And we did a swimming with sharks thing on our honeymoon, and even then, the guy was literally saying, he's like, they don't even want you. You are not on their menu. Meat is not back on their menu. These ones are vegetarian. And I still, like, even with that assurance from a local professional who was like, you're fine, I still was a little bit like just freaked out because of just all of the societal, like, exactly. Mercurian fuck, sharks are more scared of you than you are of them. Nope. Right, they don't have they're not watching their own version of Jaws, even though we inflict more danger and harm upon them. Really, like, we are their Jaws. We're their prime enemy. Sharks are beautiful animals. They are some of the most misunderstood creatures. Exactly, Bubu. We have just talked about so much random shiz today. I always find some way to bring it back to, like, National Geographic or animals. Y'all have been here in the trenches with me when I've gone on my rants about frickin' SeaWorld and my feelings for Tilikum, you know, the orcas and whatnot, the killer whales in captivity there. It all roads lead back to, just at the end of the day, animals are misunderstood. And like I've said, y'all know, add this to the list now. Like I was saying in my in the as above so below reaction, when I was saying signs that I've been kidnapped. If y'all ever see me out in the wild and I'm in either of these locations, just know that I have been kidnapped or lobotomized. If you catch me in the Paris catacombs, or if you catch me at a SeaWorld, if you see me at either of those establishments, I'm not all there. Or I'm in imminent danger because I have been kidnapped. So, oh goodness. Oh gosh, sorry. Not to make light of horrific things. I have seen The Meg. That's a really good, it's actually kind of a sleeper movie. I think I watched that on like a plane once. Exactly, Sean. I like sharks, but I would give them their space and retreat to mine space. Exactly. Like, I don't think we should be, you'll never catch me out in one of those immersive dunk tank cage situations where you go out on the open ocean and they put you in a literal cage and submerge you just so you can watch the sharks try to frickin' bite at your excuse me? Hey, no thank you. Hey, no. So add that one to the list too. You're never gonna catch me doing that. You'll never catch me on the open ocean anyway. I get way too seasick. Like a cruise ship, if you saw me on a cruise, no you didn't. That was my clone. That was my doppelganger. Holy I'm never. No. Can I tell y'all I watched we're just going on so many tangents. But just know this. If I am on a cruise, I've been kidnapped. If I am, something happened. My brain was rewired. I watched that. Now I won't even say it. There was that one new documentary on Netflix about that cruise ship that like literally lost power. If y'all remember that, and they were stranded out there with non-functional toilets. Hey, I would never do that. It was hilarious because you watch that and some of the people who survived that, they all survived. But some of the people who experienced that we're still going on cruises. Hey, if that ever happened to me, I'm never going near a cruise ship again. I'm not even going now. But if I experience something like, frick no. Nope. We're just talking about everything. The point is, you won't see me on the ocean. Mercurian Funk, I'm sorry, I've been ranting for so long, we've probably lost you. Thanks for being here. In spite of not knowing why you subscribe to the channel. I just love the honesty there. Thanks for sticking around in spite of it. Shivering hugs from Sweden. Yes, stay warm. Okay, I am a little bit afraid of bears, Ty, but we talked about that in our cross-country vlog. I was really actually kind of a little bit scared because you have to take precautions when you're camping in places like Yellowstone and Yosemite because it's bear territory. And you have to secure your food and trash and literally not leave like any trace because they'll sniff it out. They'll come. If you leave it, they will come. And so there's bear lockers and whatnot. And, you know, Tom's sister, Amber, who you guys have seen on the channel, she's a big national park aficionado, if you will. She's big on that stuff and big into camping. And she kind of was advising us to get like bear spray and whatnot. So, which we didn't do, but so I was a little bit nervous. I was like, are we taking proper precautions here? And the reality is we're a bigger danger to them still. Like when we entered the parks, they had signs talking about, you know, as you're driving through, if you see one of these road signs, this was a location in which a bear or other wildlife was killed because somebody was speeding. And so it's crazy because I'm like, the ratio at which bears attack humans, which it does happen because people are irresponsible. They literally tell you, put your food in lockers, don't go out walking, travel in pairs, hike in pairs, don't go solo hiking. Like they lay out every precaution for you and people still don't abide by them. And that's when attacks or encounters happen. But the ratio to, you know, bear activity encroaching on humans versus we're the ones encroaching on them. It just really put it into perspective for me because I was really honestly a little bit scared going into that. But as soon as we entered the park and I realized like we're more of a threat to that, like it just really put it into perspective. It's just crazy. Like we have these deep fears of all these different, you know, animals or whatnot, but we are the actual danger to them. Sorry. I always just rant about animals, don't I? All right, I'm gonna catch up. Okay, we're gonna do a quick little speed run. Where am I? Oh my god. Holy frick, I've really been. 66K does fill up some stadium. I was gonna research that across 3221. I was gonna look up which stadiums we could fill. That alone is a crazy thought. That's very exciting. That's a really cool point, Chipster. You would love the shows here in Australia. They're more about education than spectacle. That's a real, we should learn from that. Oh god, Blackfish. Yes, Ty, that was like life-altering, eye-opening for me. I'll pass on the catacombs too, says Ty. I still need to react to the Goonies. Yes, Sean, I still have to do that. Deep water movie to do. James Cameron's The Abyss. You know what? That might be a scaredy cat. That might be a scaredy cat reaction because y'all will never catch me in the deep oceans. How much David Attenborough have you seen? I guess a good amount. But I grew up also like watching a lot of Animal Planet and like Discovery Channel because they would have those kind of shows that were like What was that show? The seven deadliest? What was that show? No, that was a deadliest catch. There was some show where it would be like the top 7 most poisonous animals, top 7 greatest predators, and it was great to watch as a kid, but it was very informative. We honestly grew up watching a lot of those, so maybe that's where it all originated. But it was really Blackfish that snapped me out of it and opened my eyes to like, oh god, I went to SeaWorld when I was 9. I have to right my wrongs. Oh god, you want to do the open ocean cage thing, Chipster? Oh god, vlog it if you do. You worked for a year and a half on a cruise, Chipster? Oh my god, your life. That's so interesting. I mean, I imagine that's a fun time. Well, maybe not if you're the staff. I don't know. What's it like as a staff member? Wait, you're still here, Mercurian? Oh my god, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm glad. Welcome to one of our streams. This is what happens. This was gonna be, I don't even know what my game plan was. This was just, we were gonna just open this up with a hey, thanks for 66k, and then I should have known it was just gonna take a turns. I haven't seen Predator Badlands. I still haven't seen Prey, Viazi. I have to get on those. But somebody had said that I've seen the original Predator, and that's maybe all the source material I need to enjoy Prey, so I have to get on that. Oh god, I didn't even think about that epic, dude. Our next number is gonna be 67. No! Hopefully it'll be fizzled out by then. Hopefully that will not be a thing when we hit 67,000, if and when that time comes. Oh, goodness. You ended up in the hospital due to stress? Oh, well, that answers that question. Me being like, whoa, that must be fun to work on a cruise, and Chipster's like, no, I was hospitalized. Dang, hopefully you're recovered from that. That's crazy. I'm sorry to hear that. That is so wild that, like, you were literally working in, like, the field of hospitality, and, like, while everybody around you is having the time of their life, you're like, crashing out, not to project onto you, but, I'm so sorry. It puts it into perspective. I imagine, I don't know, this is just a generalization, but, you know, it can be, like, working in a job like that where people are on vacation, I imagine there's a sense of, like, you know, you're dealing with people who have this sense of, your job is literally to make sure that they are having the time of their life, but you're putting out fires behind the scenes and, you know, maybe working in a customer service position or whatnot in which you're dealing with angry people because they're obviously spending a lot of money and whatnot. So props to you. Hopefully you're in a line of work now that is not stressing you out as much. I still have to watch 7. I still have to watch 7. I was maybe going to do that first Reactober, but I didn't know how much it classified as like a horror film, so that is still on my list. Titanic is a horror film epic, dude. I literally, oh, that movie gave me nightmares as a kid. And it's also just so freaking long, my god. Yeah, I cannot watch anything in that movie after it crashes. Everything up until that, great. Love it. Love the vibes. Love the romance. Love Kate Winslet. And then anything after, as soon as that iceberg comes into view, frick, turn it off. Turn it off and pretend it didn't happen. That's the prime reason why you'll never catch me on a cruise. I never even explained the origins. That's why. I can't leave now, and it's an addiction now. Welcome, Mercurian. I mean, I'm honored to hear that. But don't worry, we will not shame you if you do have to leave. I say this all the time. There's times where people who are like, I'm watching, it's 4 a.m. and I'm having insomnia. I'm like, don't let me be at fault for you not getting sleep. For sleep deprivation, there is no pressure ever to be here. Exactly, Sean. We'll hit that number at some point. And it'll be a running joke. We're gonna try to hit 70k shortly after that one. Let's put it that way. I'm gonna do everything I can to get away from that number as quickly as possible. Oh my goodness. Seven is a thriller, not really a horror. That's what I thought. So that's why I was like, I'll watch this at some point, but I won't do it in the guise of like Reactober. A cruise going down is one of my nightmares. It's one of mine too, Ty. And y'all, like I said, if y'all ever see me on the open ocean, dang, Tom's really losing out there. I'm sorry if y'all have just been hearing the F-bombs and other profanities being screamed in the background. Sounds like he's struggling. He is struggling, y'all. Pray for him. His poor Dallas Cowgirls. Poor Cowboys. What are their odds of making the Super Bowl now? Like 9%? I'm not going to rub it in because I know some of y'all are dedicated Cowboys fans here, but let's just say I think the Lions. And hey, I'm not on a soapbox. I'm not in any position to talk. My Eagles are self-sabotaging right now. So I can't fully laugh, but I can a little. I can half laugh, but I'm laughing at my own team too. We're not out just yet. We're not out of the woods. Ooh. How much longer should we go for, folks? Maybe should we aim for 5? Maybe we'll cut it off at 5. 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. I can't even do mental math anymore because I don't have to do conversions really anymore. Can I say, y'all, I miss the Pacific time zone for sports. It's been like culture shocking for me being here, like being like, oh, when shouldn't the game be on by now? Like Sunday Night Football, and it's like, no, it's on at like 8:30 p.m. Wait, what? That was the best part of. There were so many good parts of living on the West Coast, but especially coming from having grown up on the East Coast and then experiencing the West Coast, it's like, hey, the Super Bowl's over by 8 p.m. You don't have to stay up. We're staying up till midnight some nights watching our games. It's like, why? You don't have to. It's a Sunday anyway. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. I guess it's because the earliest games here would be at like, what, 1 o'clock. So that's 10 a.m. That's still, you know, that's early for West Coast folks. But it's like, the times are, I don't know. It's just like, why? If it's 2 East Coast or Central Time Zone based teams, why is that game starting at 8 o'clock? It's just. Can you tell I'm old? Can you tell I'm getting there? That I had it good. And I didn't realize it. I mean, I did know it because it's great. West Coast time, being able to watch night games and still go to bed at a reasonable time. Go Bills, says Ty. You guys are definitely locked in for this playoffs, no? I have Mountain Time and it still messes me up. Right, like these games. I swear to God, one game here started at 10 p.m. because it was 2 West Coast teams playing. It was on the West Coast. It was like Seahawks versus Rams or something. So it's like, I guess the assumption is people on the East Coast are not going to be watching that. But still, maybe I did. Maybe I wanted to. Oh, dude, are you European? Question mark? Or UK? Oh, you're UK. No, because you guys are 5 hours ahead from us here on the East Coast. I'm in bed by 10 p.m. these days. Exactly, Ty. Like, goodness, Mercurian, meanwhile, is having the insomnia. But it is changing because the NFL is just freaking colonizing. Can y'all attest to that? Like, I feel like, what is the global demand? What is the international demand for NFL games abroad? Because it started very like incrementally. It's been building up. Like, I feel like there was only ever like one game a season that was in London or in Germany or something. This season there was like a game every week in like Brazil, in Germany, in London, and there's so many now. And what is the reception? Like, are people hype about that? Like, are Europeans or Brazilians or South Americans like flocking to get tickets? I just, I don't know. It's a small fan base here. Oh, was there a game in Australia, Alice? I can't remember. But like, do Australians care about the NFL? I just don't. I don't know. I didn't think there was global demand for the NFL. But this season, I feel like was a huge pivot in like every week there was a game abroad. Not so much anymore. I think that was like they kind of front loaded that towards the beginning of the season. But it's to the point where some teams now will have their first game of the season abroad. Like, it's kind of just, I didn't realize. So I don't know. That my question, like, I'm curious, is it a lot of expats living abroad who are just going to these games, or is it the local, you know, international audience checking it out too? It always sells out when they have games here in England. Like, yeah, Bird Church, is that because, is there a lot of, are there, I'm trying to use proper English, are there a lot of, I guess, expats or Americans there who are either, you know, there for work or studying there or whatever, like, that go to the games, or is it like half and half? Like, I'm just curious what the divide of the demographics is for the audiences for these games. FanDuel changed it all for real. They are getting into it. All right, so I guess it's spreading. The only thing I can say is the halftime of the Super Bowl is way too long. Really? For a lot of people, though, that's the only thing that they're watching for. That was me for the longest time. I only ever watched for the musical performance. What's up, Nathan Green? We switched to the cooler account. I will always love the Super Bowl commercials myself, and that is the other aspect that people watch for. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it is growing. I just didn't realize there was like a demand for it. Because I know, like, as like most Americans, I think, understand how football works, whereas I feel like people, well, then again, no. Like, for a long time, I did not understand the rules of football, and I would watch games as a kid and have no clue what was going on. So I imagine that's the case for a lot of the global audience, like, trying to figure out the rules and logistics of it. I'm not sure about expat numbers, but the NFL has always been quite popular here, and popularity is increasing since the games have been happening there. Okay. Well, it's spreading, I guess. But yeah, I'm curious. I'm bracing for what the impact of the World Cup will be, because that is truly global. Like, that's going to be insane here next year. Like, I feel like some cities are not ready for it. It's about to pop off. But not that the US of all places can't handle it, but well, I don't know. I don't know, actually. Like, I was saying this before we moved out of Los Angeles, that I genuinely don't think LA is equipped right now to handle. LA is barely equipped to handle the population that's currently there, let alone welcome the globe that's going to be coming over here for, I just don't, I don't know. An 80-minute game spread out over 4 hours? No thanks. That is crazy to me, Stanley's. I do hate that. That's what I loved when they introduced the pitch clock in the MLB. Those games are almost too fast now. But I think it really helped move things along, because baseball is kind of notoriously the slowest and most just kind of nonchalant, most uneventful of the sports. That's honestly maybe why I've been really getting into soccer. Granted, it's because Tom, soccer is kind of his primary favorite sport, but they can be boring in the sense that soccer, I think you can come out with the least climactic, scores. Like, it can take forever if somebody score, like, just low scoring games, I think, unless you get just like a mercy game in which it's like, 5-0 or something like that. But that's rare, I feel like, in the world of soccer. But I still enjoy that because it's only 2 45-minute periods, rarely any breaks unless it's for like an injury or something. And it's constantly, going at least. So even if it's not a high scoring game, it's still moving, and it's 45 minutes and it'll probably stay that way. Whereas the last 15 minutes of a football game in America, NFL games can be drawn out. It can be an hour. It's like, that's not actually 15 minutes. That's what bothers me. You used to love the World Cup, but you can't do it anymore. Why not, Chipster? Why not? Um, Sorry to be talking about sports, y'all. I always lose some people whenever we get on it, so maybe I shouldn't do World Cup content when that comes out. I'm just so excited for it next summer. Oh, goodness. I became a baseball fan this year because my Blue Jays did so well. I'm happy to hear that, Ty. I do think baseball is one of the best ones to attend. No, actually, I don't think I know. I will say that as fact. Baseball games, well, maybe not. Hockey games are very exciting to attend in person. But I think baseball games have some of just the best vibes because it's during spring/summertime, verging into the, early fall with October and whatnot, but it's usually the best weather. Most enjoyable. You can go kick back, get some food, get some crab fries if you're like me, a Phillies fan. That's like one of the most highly demanded concessions there at Citizens Bank Park. It's the most chill and enjoyable and kind of just like a great way to spend a day versus like football games. Freezing can be contentious environments, like not as laissez-faire. So college football, I will say that's a good point, Spidey Guy. That's just a different breed. That is a different breed. Live sports it is better. It is better live, definitely. I just wish, again, it's another kind of like fading, like Super Bowl tickets are $5,000. World Cup tickets, y'all, that's another story. That's about to be a bloodbath. That is about to be a fight to the... It already is a lost cause. The resale for those tickets there's no cap for them. So it's going to be insane. Crazy. I don't understand why this is not legalized, why this is not a law. For example, when I told y'all I had a tragedy, I couldn't go see the Sleep Token concert that I had gotten tickets to in October in LA because I wasn't living there anymore. So when I went to resell my tickets, it gave me a cap. I couldn't like upcharge them. I had bought them for a certain amount and it made me resell them for like not much more. Like it gave you a max, and I just don't understand why it's not like that everywhere. Why it's not like this is what you bought them for. You can only reasonably resell them for this much more. I don't understand. What's up, Aiden? Long time no see. Good to see you. Oh my God, Olympics tickets, exactly, Matthew. Like, I don't think there's going to be a cap on World Cup resale tickets. And so they're all about to be like $50,000. It's just crazy. But yeah, Winter Olympic, like, I feel like I don't know, is it dependent on the event and the sport that you go see for like Olympics tickets? I'm not sure. I feel like it varies. Like the swimming ones during the Summer Olympics are probably hot commodities, those tickets. But yeah, it's granted, I think it's also dependent on your team, at least for local sports. For at least like MLB, I feel like it can be very easy. If your team's not doing so hot, I've heard of people getting tickets for like $20 because they're just trying to fill the stadiums versus, at least for me, like, I haven't really had the opportunity to go to like Philly sports lately, but our teams have been doing well, so those tickets are expensive. It's not to flex. Our team is not doing well right now. I'd be shocked what's the price of Eagles tickets right now because they are not we are circling the train. We are treading dangerous territory. Joshua, thanks for being here. Congrats on hitting 66K. Sorry I missed the stream. Don't be sorry ever. Gonna have to watch it later. I just wanted to pop in and say hi. Take care. Thank you so much, Joshua. You take care of yourself. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for popping in. It means a lot. And for your membership on the master level for 50 months. My goodness. Thank you so much for all of your constant support and good energy. I just hope you're doing well. And never be sorry. Ever. We love catching y'all in the rewatch. Exactly. They're just giving away tickets to the New Orleans Pelicans games. Exactly. So yeah, it depends. Gotta go eat lunch. Thanks for being here, Emery's. We won't be going for too much longer. Anyway, I think we might go till 5 p.m. here. like I said, I didn't have actually any game plan for the stream today. Can y'all tell? We've talked about the World Cup, FIFA, NFL, baseball, sharks. What the frick else were we talking about? CGI, movies. We've talked about a lot of random stuff today because I didn't have a game plan. So, but yes, maybe I don't know. My original intention for this, for the 66K kind of celebration, and maybe we'll still do this. There's no one saying that we still can't. But my original intention for this stream, knowing that we were approaching this magic number, was to do some sort of subscriber appreciation format again, which we can still potentially do, TBH, in which you guys could submit stuff and we can celebrate the community here. So maybe, I don't know, it's a little bit late to plan that now, but maybe we could kick off like the new year doing that rather than doing like a end of year kind of send off, thanks for being here type situation. Maybe we could kick off 2026. Ew, almost just gagged saying that. That's insane. That's kind of crazy. But oh yes, we talked about Padme. Thank you, Chipster. We ranted about the nature of Padme's death, 6-7, being in Gen Z. Please don't do a 6-7 stream. Like I was saying, hopefully by then that will not be existent. Have y'all seen that meme going around? It's not a meme, it's a video of some kids at freaking, I don't know where they were, some sort of Christmas spectacle function, and they tried to do that to the actor who was playing the Grinch, and he hit them with the 8-9 afterwards and totally diffused their lights. So hopefully, maybe that's the way we have to counteract it. If you hear 6-7 out in the wild, just scream 8-9, and I think that frustrates them. I think the youth don't like that. I don't know what it means either, Alice. I've tried. I watched one video of it. That was my lowest point. I had to watch like a news coverage of them trying to piece it together too. I just don't think anybody over the age of maybe like 17 knows what it means. I think our brains just don't. I think it's just they're on their own wavelength. That's my understanding of it. I think I've heard teachers describe it as it's every generation, all kids, we all had some sort of saying or slang that our parents didn't understand, and that was the point. Like it was meant to be our kind of own language and whatnot to unify us when we were younger. But and I guess that's 6-7 for them. But I just think it's more of an epidemic now because, hey, was it just voted the word of the year by the Merriam-Webster Dictionary? You're kidding me. No. God. Why do I want to cry? I just teared up. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Different dictionaries and publications and institutions have their own word. The Oxford University Press word of the year for 2025 is rage bait, and that's actually a very fitting. That's a good one. That's funny. The dictionary.com 2025 word of the year is 6-7. It does make me want to tear up. Like, why am I crying? I'm crying. Like, why does that bring tears to my eyes? God. It's just really sad. Like, maybe because that just puts into perspective how far we have fallen. How we have just devolved. Oh, God. Jesus. Sorry, I'm just spiraling. Ooh, parasocial is Cambridge Dictionary's word of the year 2025. That's a really fitting one. That's a really good one. I like that one. That's a good one from them. No, I can't. I'm crying. I'm crying. I'm literally getting tears in my eyes because I just can't believe it. Don't say that, Darnock. We're closer to 2050 than 2000. No. Stop, 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 stop. Stop. No, stop. Stop that. Ay, ay, ay. My lowest point was trying to figure out what skimmity toilet is. Oh my god, Nathan. That is so true. Stop. Oh my god. That one hurt me. When that came out, that was like a backpack skin on Fortnite. I don't know. Your prime minister did the 6-7. Hey, it's over. Hey, we're all circling the tree. Oh, God. I am crying for the future of this planet, Chipster. Oh, God, have we failed as a society, if that's the word of the year. The only other reason I think that they do that, they were saying a lot of the reasonings is it's because of the heightened searches for it. Like, if it's popular because people like us, anybody over the age of 16 is searching it, so like the spikes for, you know, people seeking out the definitions for these, I think that contributes to it. But don't die like Padme. I'm about to. 6-7 is what's gonna get me. There will not be a paint stream tomorrow, Caper, but I think Tuesday. And would you guys be interested? I'm gonna put a feeler out. I'll share what I'm doing for the paint/drawing stream to just give you a little preface. So like I had said, I want to start documenting more of my schoolwork, and just because it's taking up a lot of my time right now, so I'm like, why not make content of it? And so my current project that I'm developing, the theme of this current module that I'm doing is narrative and sequential art, and learning to tell stories and whatnot, and, you know, learning about the history of comics and other forms of sequential art that we just honestly see in our day-to-day life that we don't even pick up on necessarily. But like if you're reading a manual, or if you're on a plane and you're, you know, kind of reading the little safety pamphlet about what to do to put your oxygen mask on, if, you know, in case of emergency, like we see a lot of instances of it in our daily lives. So I've been learning about that, and so our project is to create a story, a narrative, and do the illustrations for it. And so we don't have to create the full, it's kind of the practical take on if you were to create a pitch document for a book or a comic or graphic novel. And so I'm creating a pitch document for what could be a potential video game. And so I'm creating like, oh, I have to create, you know, the concept art for my characters and whatnot, you know, their backstories and everything. And so I think what I want to do this week is start to make the kind of final, what would be the final presentable concept drawings for my two main characters. So stay tuned, because that's what I think we're going to try to paint. As a little preview. It's just been so fun. I'm feeling so creative. So if you catch me this week geeking out about my original character, just ride the wave with me. It's honestly, like, I low-key am like, how am I doing this for school? It's been fun. It's pushing me out of my comfort zone, because I've never done comics before ever, or made any sort of kind of sequential art, or done any of my own like original character designs, not since I was a kid. So maybe that's why I'm feeling really giddy about it, because I used to do this all the time as a kid and make up stories, and I honestly was a little bit almost like sheepish and maybe like embarrassed, I don't know, like couldn't take myself seriously embarking on this, because we had to start with, you know, develop some sort of story or synopsis and narrative or characters or whatnot to spark your artwork and whatnot. And I didn't know what to do, but I have a crazy idea now, y'all, so I'll share it with you when we do the stream. But that will definitely be happening this week, so maybe not tomorrow. But the second follow-up question was going to be, would you guys care if I started? I don't know, because like I said, I'm trying to find a balance between, I've accepted that I kind of have to tread a little carefully. I can't, if I go full pedal to the metal with YouTube content, I slack a little bit on schoolwork. That said, I'm trying to lighten up and not have the same approach as I had in undergraduate. my undergraduate bachelor degree studies, where it really consumed my life and I have regret. I've gone on tangents about this with y'all. Like, don't let it take over your life, because I do have honestly severe regret about the way that I just was full pedal to the metal in undergrad, and I missed out on just life experiences. So I've had a huge pivot in my mindset going into my graduate studies of not letting it dominate my life, especially because it is meant to be. It's online and it's part-time. Like, it's not the same by any means. Like, when I was just in my bachelor's degree, that was my life, versus I'm trying to balance my life with that. Cat is making GTA 6. Stay tuned though, y'all, because Tom has me convinced that I have to play that. I have to play that before the new game comes out. I've never played any of the GTA games before, so going into this, I'm trying to find a healthier balance between, the other things I have going on and schoolwork, balancing them. So I'm not being as much of a stickler for trying to get, I'm not saying I'm not trying, but I'm accepting whatever grades that I get. I'm still trying my best, but if I don't get the highest top marks, then that's okay. Like, I normally, like, me 5 years ago would have crashed out about that and dictated my life's worth around that, like having a 4.0 GPA. And hey, where did it get me? My life's, I wouldn't say I'm any better off because I worked my butt off to get a 4.0, like, so I'm trying to just have a healthier mindset where it's like, I will try my best. And whatever my best is right now, like, I'm proud of, even if it doesn't achieve the highest grade. So that said, I'm trying to achieve a healthy balance between schoolwork and YouTube, but trying to find a way that I can integrate them. And so I was like, all right, I know I'm not making as much content whenever I'm spending more time on my school stuff. So I want to try to find a way to integrate them. So I don't know, maybe we'll do all of this is to say, I was teetering on the idea of maybe doing some, like, vlogging just to show you. I'm like, well, if people are wondering maybe why I'm making less content, I could at least show them why and make that part of the content. So, like, if it's not reactions, at least there's maybe some schoolwork vlogs or showing some of the work I'm doing or doing paint streams and stuff. So yeah, but definitely, because I'm so excited about this current project and developing original characters and stuff. So unfortunately, I can't program or code for shit. So this will never, well, I don't know, unless anybody has any connections and wants to take my pitch, I'll share the full story with you guys when we do the stream. But I will not be turning it into a video game, a playable game. But who knows? Maybe I would write the story of it, and I don't know. I've been tempted to do that because it started as just a small little idea, and it has blossomed, and I'm just feeling hype about it. So, unfortunately, Alice, I don't know if you'll ever be voting for it in the Game Awards because I can't code. But it's maybe, like, if y'all know people, if y'all have connections, I do have the character names, Bird Church. To inspire the look, or will their look inspire their names? They're kind of, all right, I'll give you all the rundown. The Spark Notes version, because one thing I took away from my acting studies that one of my acting teachers would tell us is every time you get a script, look up what your character name means. Like, nothing is accidental. Nothing is just, everything is by design. Everything is chosen for a specific reason. Nothing is just kind of coincidental. So every name, all of our names have a meaning. And that can help inform your performance or what you take away about this character's personality. So I kind of knew I had the personality traits that I wanted for my characters. And so I looked up, names that mean blank, but it also takes place on Mars. It's going to be like a futuristic type situation in a maybe not so far off future where humans are inhabiting Mars, but there is an extraterrestrial threat. But I want to do a spin where it's like life on Mars is not great. Because I was researching, in order to work on my character designs, like, okay, what would be the physical effects of living on Mars for a prolonged period of time? Because, hey, we're not supposed to be there. Like, we are not equipped to handle the climate there, or the air. Hey, I think our blood would literally boil inside of our veins, I'm pretty sure, if you went outside exposed to the elements on Mars without a helmet or spacesuit or like proper precautions. So I was using that and doing research about that to like inform how would people look like over a long period of time after living there for a while. And so, you know, my main character, she has been an inhabitant of Mars for a long time. And so from my research, you know, there's people wouldn't be doing so hot, you know, because of you would have to live in enclosed spaces. You would not be able to go outside and just soak in like the sun. So we would all be vitamin D deprived. Because of the gravitational differences, your body, you'd feel more fatigue. Like unless you'd have to be working out in like specialized gyms to counteract the gravity and maintain like our muscle mass and skeletal frame that we have here on Earth. But on Mars, if you're not keeping up your muscles would atrophy, like you'd be fatigued, like our bone density would shrink, like there would definitely be physical differences. And so I was reading about like what could actually be the physical toll. So like people would be paler because they're vitamin D deprived, but you know, over time, if there was a full-blown, you know, life on Mars, people might evolve to have more, you know, melanin in their skin to counteract the sun so that we could maybe like be able to handle it at times. So I was doing a lot of research, but basically we wouldn't be attractive. Like we would be not doing so hot. So my main character, I tried to take that of like, okay, what would somebody with like no sun exposure, like the radiation, like eventually would have like people would have radiation sickness. Your skin would be, and feel free to fact check all of this. I'm gonna thank you for these recommendations, Mercurian, because I want to do some more research, and even my professors were encouraging me like go look at other media for inspiration that, you know, might focus on this or might have hypothesized what this could be like. So thank you. Ooh, Stanley's, that's a good point. They tackle like the muscle stuff in The Expanse. That's good to know. Because that's what I was reading. So like I said, feel free to fact check me on all of this, but it would take a severe physical toll living there, and like, you know, radiation exposure or whatnot, just the elements, our skin would not be equipped for it. So people would have more, you know, skin problems or skin sensitivity or irritation. It sounds unsexy. Exactly, Mercurian. So I was doing all of this research because I was like, I can't have this drop dead gorgeous hot lady who looks like the epitome of health on Earth if people are my main character is a girl, but you know, I have to plan her features accordingly and make her look fatigued, and the whole premise is I want to focus on she's been on Mars for a little bit. She's there for job purposes, but she only has a little bit left of like she's stationed there, but she can return to Earth. And she only has like a little bit left of her term. And so I want to premise it as like it's not all it's cracked up to be. Like it's actually really bad. Like people are struggling in poor health. And so that's why it's like, so I gave her, y'all will see. I finalized her design. So that's why I want to do some streams now where I will be illustrating the final kind of artwork that I would be doing. That, like any sort of concept art you see from video games or whatnot, of what this final character design would be, you know, her outfit, costume, all that stuff. That's kind of what I'm out here ranting, Spidey Guy, like, you know, I'm something of a scientist myself. That's what I sound like. Sorry to bog y'all down with like the logistics of it all. But thank you, Mercurian, for these recommendations, seriously, because part of the process here for this project is we create a bibliography of all sorts of media, you know, whether we see a picture on Instagram or see something out in the wild, like any sort of text or media or films or other video games or stuff, to collect like evidence and inspiration. So I will definitely check those out, because even my professors were like, go look at other sci-fi media and stuff like that. And obviously Star Wars has been a source of inspo, but now that I've kind of localized it on like I want it to be about the it's not about the effects of Mars. The whole premise is based actually on like my fear of AI, and I went on rants about this before, y'all, on stream, about how I have this irrational fear that AI will take over. And so then, like, whenever we got this assignment brief for you have to create some sort of narrative story, I was like, well, why don't I just run with that, and take that irrational fear and spin it into some sort of story. So the whole premise is she lives on Mars. She's stationed there. There are several colonies. One colony is attacked by some mysterious species that turns out to be this kind of AI humanoid situation that is in the process of trying to... Their final stop is Earth, and so they stopped on Mars because it's going to be easier to invade and take over, because there's less human population there. And so the whole point is these AI humanoids will look healthier than the actual Martian inhabitants. So like my main girl looks kind of fricked up. Like her skin is gonna like gray. She's got a scar because of like, you know, the skin irritation and whatnot, the fatigue, like her eyes are sunken. Like, y'all, I did research to back this up. But her AI humanoid kind of companion that she will meet, enemy to companion situation, he looks good. Like, you know, his skin's gonna be healthy. He has long hair, because that's another thing I read. Like, your hair might start falling out because of like the radiation poisoning. Like, y'all, I did so much research about what life would do to us in order to... So she looks like me, says Caver. Y'all will see. So yeah, so I'll go on more rants about this. But exactly, Sean, that's why I'm so excited about this, because I'm tapping into sci-fi and like creating a story again for the first time. But I want the crux of it, the moral, to be, you know, these AI humanoids were created on some other... I don't know what this origin for them is going to be necessarily, or if they've been crafted on another planet or some... I don't know necessarily where they come from, but they look and sound and present like humans, but at the end of the day, they're not. And that's why they're trying to attack the colonies on Mars to make it to their end game on Earth, to eventually overtake Earth, but they need to capture people on Mars first to study them, because they're trying to finalize and achieve their final form of identifying and looking exactly like humans, but at the end of the day, they never will. They never can be. Mercurian, thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you so very much. And thanks for being here. We've lured you in, it seems. Keep up that personality. It's going to be a fun journey. Your brain needs an MRI. But finally, now, bye. Thank you for being here. I'm glad that we could rope you back in after you had signed off. Yeah, y'all, this was me. It's so crazy, because when I started... Like I said, when we got this brief to create a story and kind of write a little narrative that we would make artwork inspired by, like, I was honestly really embarrassed and, like, didn't know what to do, and kind of nervous to, like, share this with my other classmates. But so many other people online had some crazy other sci-fi stuff too, so I was like, all right, I'm in good company here. Like, I just was a little bit, like... scared to take it too seriously, and now that I've started it, I'm like, oh my god, I feel like a little kid again, coming up with stories and illustrating characters, and I haven't done that since I was a kid. And so I'm backed in. So holy shnikes, that's so all of this is to say, we will be doing the upcoming art streams will be doing the concept art. Like, I gotta design the cover art, what the cover would be for the game, my two main characters, obviously, and make some other, you know, I have to create some sort of outpost slash what my idea for the colony on Mars would look like, because it has to be some sort of enclosure, so I don't know about that. So I need to keep doing research about what hypothetical life would actually look like, what their car would look like. She has to have some sort of vehicle to get around. TBH, I might just make that look a little bit like a Cybertruck. But if you look up, like, NASA has some sort of, there have been some sort of, like, proposals or, like, hypothetical models for what some sort of rover would look like, and it kind of does look like a Cybertruck, so that's gonna be my inspiration. So y'all just watch me geek out, so prepare for that later this week. All of this is to say, stay tuned, because you would buy the concept art book if I did it. Maybe I will, Chipster. I didn't even think about that, but that is literally my final project will be a presentation, like a pitch, if I were to actually take this to, which I won't, by the way, unless any of y'all have hookups, but if I were actually working for like a video game company and pitching a game, which I would want the end game to be, I'm creating a storyboard for some cutscenes. I've been, obviously have to create the concept art for my two main characters, the setting, the world, the locations, their outfits, what some of the customization screens would look like or whatever, what the cover art would be. A land speeder rover would be cool. I thought of that, Matthew. But then then I realized, like, oh, they wouldn't be able to be exposed to the outdoors for a long period of time unless they're in their space suits. So I was like, she might be better off in some sort of car situation. I don't know. Bird Church, thank you so much for being here. I'll get this in before it's too late. Thanks for the great stream, Cat. Fun as always, and hope everyone has a great day/night wherever you are. Thank you so much, Bird Church. Yeah, we are probably going to sign off here momentarily. I just word vomited about my original idea, and so that set us over the time frame that I had committed to. But yeah, so stay tuned for that, y'all. I'll share the full story. I still have to write. I have to create a synopsis for my the actual story, so I'm still finalizing what I want to happen and whether I want my protagonist to I don't know, her alien companion that she would be traveling with. I don't know whether he will betray her or like befriend her. I have to decide on that, so maybe we can work some of that out if I do a little stream. But I need to watch The Expanse, Bird Church. You know what? Maybe I'll just watch it and start it for like research purposes. So stay tuned. That will happen. I'll set a date right now and try to stay accountable to it, like Tuesday. Maybe Tuesday we will do that, because I'll spend Monday. I still have to draw make the final drawing and stuff, and then we can paint her. But I'm excited. So stay tuned. That was a lot. All of this was to say, I'm trying to find better ways to integrate, because schoolwork has taken up more of my time, and it obviously isn't going to be permanent. I want to find ways to integrate it into the channel, and it's about art and illustration anyway. That's what I'm studying, so I've been on a kick with the, paint streams and whatnot, so if I can find ways to merge the two, that will be fun. It's Monday for you guys, Alice. Y'all are in the future, right? Correct? Is it Monday in Australia? Because you guys are ahead? It would be the following day. Right? Are you guys in the future? You guys are all Nathan, that's my like my kryptonite. I always say that after I go on a rant. But yes, so that's what I'm gonna be doing, like storyboarding and stuff. So maybe I'll stream with y'all. I'll patch you guys in when we do that here too, because I have to make a lot of artwork for this, so I'm like, might as well make content of it and keep you guys in the loop. So all right, holy frick. On that note, the sun has set here. I hate the freaking winter. It's 5 o'clock and it's pitch black out, but I'm glad to hear it's Monday for some of y'all. Sid Mead is a great inspiration. Thank you for that. Hold on, I'm gonna take that down. Oh my gosh, thank you. Holy shnikes. Oh my god, this is amazing. Thank you. Thank you. I'm serious, because I have to look up like concept artists and other artists for inspiration, and contemporary artists or whatnot, or veterans in the field. And so that looks perfect. Thank you for that, Viazzi. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Holy frick, that was a way to end this stream that had absolutely zero order to it the entire time. Favorite season of the Clone Wars has probably got to be the final one, because I was crying in fetal position, and I love that. I mean that though, genuinely. I do love. I also love the season with Maul and Savage. I don't have them all memorized, but Maul and Savage Opress, I love that duo. So yes. Speaking of crying in fetal position, I'm gonna go and celebrate. So we have been celebrating 66K. Truly, even though this stream didn't really, apologies, didn't focus on that too much after the beginning, and we went on all of our tangents and rants. Thank you guys so much. And check out Elysium. Y'all, thank you for this. This is gonna be great for my research. Oh, that looks hype. You guys are cooking. Thank you. Looking forward to watching your project progress. Well, thank you. I will keep you guys posted, but let's put that in the calendar this Tuesday, 2 days from now. Tomorrow's Monday for me, at least. Tuesday, we'll do it, and I'll start painting my character with you guys, and tell you a little bit more about her. And maybe we can generate some ideas. I don't know. I have to finish the story, so maybe we'll finish it together. But until then. Holy frick. Thank you guys so very much for coming and hanging out on such short notice. MCW, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm glad you guys enjoy these because we talked about what the frick did we talk about today? Padme, sharks, cruise ships, the Titanic, the likelihood of being struck by lightning or have a vending machine fall on you, sports, FIFA, World Cup, so much. So this obviously had no sort of order to it or itinerary, and none of our streams ever do, and that's okay. So thank you so much for being here, in spite of that and my tangents, and we're just shooting the shiz. And yeah, holy frick. Execute Order 66, y'all. Let's keep the ball rolling, and we're barreling towards 6-7. Oh god. Oh my goodness. Happy Order 66 to you, Kath. Sorry I didn't talk much. Don't ever be sorry, Hayden. I say this all the time. Thank you so much to everyone for being here. Thank you to all of our top rankers and members. And if you super chatted, then thank you for your generosity. But I always say, even if you're lurking in the shadows and just passing by and not interacting in the chat, we love you just as much. I appreciate you guys so freaking much. And I'm dead serious, and I'll end on this. I'm so serious when I say that 66K has been like my prime goal on this channel, and everything after that is just like a cherry on top. And then we're gonna hit 6-7, and I'm gonna try to hit 68 as fast as possible, so we're not all having 6-7 stuck in our dang heads. So until then, we'll appreciate this. And thank you guys just so much for helping us, for being a part of it. And hitting this magical number. I honestly, like, I was more excited genuinely to hit this number than even like 100K if we ever get there. So I'm savoring this for now, and looking forward to hanging out with you guys again later this week. But until then, holy shnikes, I'm gonna go. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, night, morning, evening, 3 a.m., wherever you may be. My brain is fried because we've talked about so much random shit today, so I'm gonna go. Go Birds, baby. Come on, y'all. We're playing the Monday night game. Please, y'all, please. If your team has already been eliminated from playoff chances, just root for the Birds. Just root for the Birds. It's fine. It's fine. You'll be fine. It'll make me happy. Just put the good vibes into the ether. Please, God, please. And so y'all will see me. Maybe it's a bad idea that I'm going to do a paint stream on Tuesday if we lose on Monday night, which, hey, we probably will, because we stink. We're circling the drain, so maybe I'll be in a different mood on Tuesday. But until then, thank you guys so very much for watching. Hope you guys are doing so well. And I will see you guys again very, very soon. And thank you for 66K. My lip is quivering because I'm getting emotional. All right. Much love to you all. Have a great rest of your day, night, morning, evening, 3 a.m. And I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Bye, guys.